Hello, welcome to our Save the Children podcast. We're your hosts, Becky and Bridget. On today's episode, we have the Marine rapper of the Space Force trio. TMR is the self-proclaimed greatest military lyricist of all time and has yet to have that title overturned. Not only is he a two-time Marine combat veteran and military journalist, he's a #1 billboard artist. His conservative, wholesome, and pertinent music spans multiple genres as he's collaborated with a multitude of artists. Every day, TMR spends roughly 22 minutes on an Instagram Live talking to veterans who just need someone to talk to. His podcast, Alive Every Day, is a play on words, meaning doing an Instagram Live every day, but also recognizing the fact that we're alive today. I could continue with all of his accomplishments, but let's hear it from the man himself. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you give our listeners some of your background? Like, what was your journey to get to become the greatest military lyricist of all time?
First, it was laughing at myself. No. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is the Marine Rapper, aka TMR, aka my name's Raymond. The journey has been long and a learning experience. I love all the, times that I fell down and picked myself back up. But that's what's most important is you fall down and you just, you dust yourself off and pick yourself up. That's the most important part of it. So that's what I've been doing throughout this whole thing. And that is what's made me the most successful is picking myself back up. But it's my whole journey started. Are we going back to like conception or where are we going?
Sure. So it was a day. Just kidding.
It was the Marine Corps ball, and my mom saw my dad and was like, "Hey, wink, wink." And they got married and they got to know each other biblically, and they had me. But yeah, no, that actually is true. They did get married. My dad is a Marine. They got married. They had me. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. At the time, it was like a murder capital, not a good place. So my mom decided to pick up and move to the West Coast, out to Oceanside, California. So I grew up partially in the East Coast and partially in the West Coast. But because I have East Coast roots, I've always been drawn to like a gritty, grimy type of nature, whether it's in music, whether it's in art, whether it's in the way I dress, whatever it was. But I never really knew that was the reason why until later, until I started to grow up as a young kid, drawing. So I would do sketches and draw. And a big thing for me as a little kid was drawing Ninja Turtles. So I entered my first art contest drawing Ninja Turtles, and I won as a 5-year-old, and I beat out adults.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I just knew from that point I just had a natural knack for drawing because from a young age I had very strong analytical and spatial skills, so I could see shapes and knew what type of shapes to draw to make like a more complex shape. But I didn't know that kind of thinking would overflow into other facets of my life until a little bit later. So I was always drawing and playing with Ninja Turtles and playing with figurines and stuff and playing with clay and anything that was art, I was playing with it. I was always an artist. I just changed mediums. And then as I got older, I started skateboarding. And when I started skateboarding, I got into a lot of rock music because when we were kids, the only music you listened to when you were a skateboarder was rock music. That's it. You listen to Nirvana, you listen to Alice in Chains,
Yep.
A lot of grunge.
Grunge, yep.
If it was grunge, if it was rock, we listened to it. So I listened to a lot of Nirvana. I listened to a lot of Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains is one of my favorite bands of all time because they have a band called, they have a song, Alice in Chains has a song called Rooster, which is a nickname that my mom gave me because of my red hair that's on top of my hair. And it became to be a moniker that has been more relevant because I've been known to get up early before anybody else and kind of like be on top of things, so to speak. So Rooster made a lot of sense for me. And then just into a lot of rock music, Tool, Perfect Circle, Foo Fighters, anything like that, just grungy like rock. And I like that. Then when I was about 18, my mom's friend came over and she saw, this black kid with, dirty jeans and a t-shirt, listening to rock music and a skateboard. It was like, yo, what are you doing? I was like, what? She's like, do you listen to any rap music? And at that time, I think I liked Busta Rhymes or something, or Criss Cross or something like that. But like, the commercial people.
Yeah.
I was like, no, not really. She's like, so let me do something for you. She goes to her car. She gets a double CD of Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death. That's my first hip hop CD. So like, if you guys wonder why I rap the way I do, it's because of Biggie. And it's crazy because I'm this small 90-pound, 4'11", scrawny black kid who looks like a rocker, but I'm listening to Notorious B.I.G. and I'm relating the most to him, even though I felt alone all through my life because I never felt like I fit in. But I related to this hustler of New York, this huge hustler of New York, because he said things that were relatable to me. And I actually think I said this on the last interview that we had when we had Space Force, but like, he was like, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Coogi down to my socks. Basically what he was saying was, yeah, I'm black, yeah, I'm ugly, but I'm fresh though, and I could still take your girl. So what? You know what I mean? So to me, I wasn't taking no.
Yes.
I was like, yes, I absolutely was taking nobody's girl. I absolutely was not fresh, but he told me you can be whoever you are as long as you have confidence. And that's how I perceived Biggie. So I was like, wow, so that means I could be this nerdy skateboarder rapper dude, right?
Just own it.
Just own it. So I went to Walmart and I was broke. I can't afford no studio. I went to Walmart, I got me like a tape recorder, right? So basically what I would do was play the song on a stereo and then rap over that song on the stereo and then record that onto a cassette tape. And then that would be my album, you know what I mean? My single, like, hey, this is my single, whatever. And it was not good. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have much heart into it, but it was not good. I think I had a little bit of drive because I feel like I had the work ethic from my stepdad that I lived with at the time, Caribbean. So if you were raised by a Caribbean parent or a Latino parent, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, you went to school, but you still need to work. And then why don't you have a job yet? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
I'm 7.
I'm 7, so we will make a job for you. And it was just like, there was things to where we would have to pull out weeds from our grass, things like this stupid stuff, like sweep the floor. And I was like, and at 7 years old, I didn't know how to sweep the floor by myself. I was like, I need help. He's like, no, you don't. He's all, you hold the dustpan with one hand and you sweep with the other. But it was such a hard concept as a 7-year-old for me to grasp that I can be independent and stuff like that and do that type of thing. But he made me think like that. And then my mom was like, you're going to need a woman for nothing. You won't need a woman for not one thing, not one thing. I'm going to teach you how to iron your clothes. I'm going to teach you how to wash your clothes. I'm going to teach you how to do anything. I'll teach you how to cook some simple meals, some chicken. It could be not the Tyson chicken dinner, an actual chicken. I'm going to teach you how to do all of that. And you're gonna be self-sufficient. You won't need a woman for nothing, and have confidence in yourself. And you're handsome because I said so. So I grew up like that. Then I started. I was listening to rap, but I still wasn't good. And then I started working at Taco Bell as a rapper, like wrapping up tacos. Like literally, I was a rapper at Taco Bell. And I'm just like, this wasn't what I imagined as a rapper.
Not what I meant. I needed to be a little more specific with my manifesting of rapper.
Yeah. So, but I wasn't even at the rapper side yet, because when you work at fast food, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. So they're like, get back there and wash my dishes. So that's what the manager said. I said, okay, cool. I go there and I said, all right, I'm gonna wash the dishes, but after I'm done with the dishes, can I go in the front and can I make food with you guys on the line? Because that was where the fun was. That's where all the joking was. They're like, haha, remember, hey, last night I went out with Susie to the drive-in. Haha, yeah, that was fun. And I'm just like, hey, I went. They're like, shut up, wash the dishes. Nobody cares what you did. And then so like I was an outcast back there washing the dishes. And then I'm like, I'm done. They're like, the shift is over. The lights are out. Taco Bell is closed. Go home. And I'm like, oh man. So I would wash all the dishes. Day after day that would happen. And I was looking over all lonely and stuff. And I'm like, I got to figure this out. Hey, Ray, you are very smart. You can figure this out. All right. So I was like, okay, all right. If I can finish the dishes before my shift, they have to show me how to cook. So that means I need to be faster at washing dishes. So I need to come up with a plan on how to wash the dishes faster. I gotta be fast, right? But the problem was the dishes look like Tom and Jerry. Have you guys seen those Tom and Jerry cartoons? Like it was to the ceiling full of dishes.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh man, how am I gonna do this? And I was like, okay, I gotta think like Becky, be organized like Becky. And then I said, okay, put the big dishes here, small dishes here, forks here.
Get a dishwasher.
No. I was the dishwasher. There was no dishwashers.
He's like, I hand washed everything.
I know.
Taco Bell said no. They want to create a job.
They hired you.
So I organized the pans from extra large, large to medium. That was the first thing I did. And but before I did that, I would scrape them off and then pile them up together. Then I would set the waters. I would do soap, and then I would do hot water, the sanitizer water, because we have to sanitize it before we give it to you all. Aren't you guys happy that we do that?
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you've ever eaten at Taco Bell, it's because somebody sanitized something. That's why your food was clean. Anyways, so I was like, I gotta be faster. And I have okay, so as a kid, I was made fun of because they said I looked like Bobby's World. Bobby's World cartoon was a cartoon with a big head, big hands, big feet. I looked like him. I was 4'11" and I looked like him. So I looked like I had a little body, big hands, and big feet, and a big head. I looked like a Tootsie Roll Pop. So I always was like, oh, I hate my, my big hands and my big feet, but my big feet made it so I didn't tip over. You can't tip over. I had a strong base. I wouldn't tip over. I would just be, strong base. And then my hands were big, and I was like, what's good with my hands? And I was like, oh snap, I can cover a whole bunch of surface area. It was like a superhero realizing his superpowers. And I was like, oh snap. And I was like, oh crap. And then so like I said, oh, if I wash the dishes vertically, I can get the corners quick and then wash from in to out. I know this sounds crazy, y'all, but this is what I started doing.
You're analytical.
So I set all the dishes up vertically, and I started washing them. I started moving my hand from inside to out and just spinning them, just doing it 4 times. And then I went doosh, 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 doosh. And so I think I finished the dishes instead of 8 hours in like 2. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then they're like, yeah, when you wash the dishes, you can come online. I was like, they're done. They're like, washed? Yes. Sanitized? Yes. And they go in there, they're like, whoa. And I said, yeah, teach me how to cook. I was like, teach me how to cook. So I go online and they're like, we can't teach you how to cook first. You're going to wrap the tacos. But the thing is we got to put you at the end, wrapping the tacos, and see if you can wrap a taco without cracking. That is the thing to do. But before we let you have a real taco, you have to wrap the shell. So imagine you're wrapping a shell with no meat or no lettuce or no cheese.
Yeah, there's nothing even to keep it. Yeah.
That's the hardest things to do. You think, and so I'm like Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid, breaking shells, right? And then so like I'm trying to do it, but this is me doing it on the other line for the dine-in. So you don't get, it's crazy guys, but you don't get to go on the drive-through unless you're the pro.
You don't, yeah.
You have to be on the dine-in. The slow, that's because that's a slower. They're like this and that. So I'm in the dine-in, wrapping tacos, and then I finally get better. And they're like, wow, he's getting really good at wrapping tacos. And I end up being the fastest at wrapping tacos. So fast in the way of I'm wrapping a taco, and then so fast I'm spinning it at the end just to show how fast I am before they finish it. So imagine I'm like shh, and doing a spin and sitting back and like looking at the next guy. You're not done yet. Like it just like it's like a funny little thing. And then so like I'm getting good at wrapping tacos, and then I get to move to the stuffed position, which is the second man, which is the lettuce and the cheese after the meat. Yeah, they're like, oh wow, fancy, And then I go to if you go to the meat, that's the guy who's like the quarterback, right? You get this because you say, hey guys, we got 12 tacos, 10 burritos, whatever you're telling everybody else to do. And the really good people, and you guys don't know this because you probably don't see the guys back there at Taco Bell, but they can hold their arm out like this, just like, I don't know if you ever seen a server serve you and they have like multiple plates on their arms. They can put like 12 tacos on their arm and go stuff. And then just like an accordion, just like spread it down there on the table. And then the person in the middle fills it up with the lettuce and cheese. And then the person at the end is like, wrap. Right?
They probably don't let you do that anymore because that doesn't seem very sanitary to use your entire arm.
Well, we have gloves and stuff like that, but I think, but me and another guy could do it with our hands because our hands are like huge. Like we do it with our hands. So we would do that. And just to let you know, sorry guys, fast food always isn't sanitary, but we did wash our hands. But it is what it is. If I see a B or a C in the window of a fast food joint or a Mexican joint, I'm going in there. Why? Because they care about the food more than cleanliness. And I am about that. And because it's just factual. And because they don't have no time to clean up. Why? Because they're too busy, because it's that good. That's why I want to see a B or a C at a Mexican restaurant. And if they get an attitude with me, like, what do you want? It's because they have no time, because they want to talk to their novia or novio, and they want to get back to making the food. You know what I mean? They want to get back to talking to their novia or novio, and they don't want to make the food. Anyways, that's the type of place I want to be in. Anyways, so after working at Taco Bell for a while, I started being the manager, and I was like, this is a dead end. And I'm like, I'm a rapper. And they were just like, yeah,
you
right.
are tacos.
A taco rapper. You're a taco rapper. Get back in my kitchen. And then I knew I was like at a dead end, and I was like, yo, if I don't make it in rap, I'm gonna join the military. So a female recruiter came in just randomly. And I think she was eating lunch. She was like, hey, I got some opportunities. If you're interested, come to the Marine Corps office. And I knew that if I joined the military, it would be that. And I wasn't far as I wanted to be in military. I wasn't far as I wanted to be in music. So I go to and this is after 9/11, mind you. I go to the Marine Corps office, and I'm like, I want to join up, because I felt like I was at a dead end, because this was also after. So as I'm going to work at Taco Bell and becoming this taco rapper, I'm also going to college for drafting, computer aided drafting and stuff like that. So I know how to do blueprints and stuff. Like, too bad you guys didn't get another disc, because I would have said I'm the one who's drawing the blueprints and Tyson is the one building it. But that still may happen. Anyways. But yeah, so I know how to do blueprints and schematics and things like that. And then I freshly got out of school. I went to go get hired at a place. I was dressed all nice. I was clean and everything. I finally got my act together, being so fresh and so clean, like Outcast. And then I go into the drafting firm, and before on the phone, they're just like so excited, so eager. Yes, we do need an entry-level drafting person. I get in there, and they look at me and they're like, you're overqualified. And I'm like, overqualified?
That answer.
And I was just like, I see what's going on here. So I got out of there or whatever. I was so mad. And then that's when I went to the Marine Corps office. I was like, yo, I need a job. Like, you ready? And I was like, yeah. And back then I thought Marines did the same thing. I thought Marines always did grunt work. I thought they all were riflemen. I thought we all went to war and shot, and that's it. So I'm at a dead end life-wise. So I was just like, I don't care. My only thing that I was worried about before I joined the military was, am I afraid to die? And I wrestled with that for a couple of weeks. And then once I got over it, then I ended up signing up. And I signed up, and the lady was like, hey, you signed up, you're about to be a Marine, you're going to ship out in a couple of weeks, you're an open contract, go tell your parents and all that stuff, and go tell your parents and all that stuff. Hey mom, I'm open contract, I'm about to go to the Marine Corps. Unbeknownst to me, my mom knew all about it, because when I was a little toddler, before my mom and my dad got divorced, she knew all about the jobs, because my dad was artillery. So that's another field Marine job where they do the cannons. So my dad is a cannoneer in the field getting deployed. So my mom's like, it's after 9/11, they're going to make you infantry, and you are going to deploy to Iraq, and you're going to die. I'm like, Mom, that's not going to happen. She's like, well, it's going to happen because you're open contract, and Uncle Sam, because you're open contract, they need grunts, and you're going to be a grunt. So you need to go back and let her know you need a smart job, because you just graduated college and you're a smart boy, and I know you are. So yes, Mom. I go back. I told the lady, I was like, hey, and at this time, remember, mind you, I'm not good at rapping. I was like, hey, I need a job. She's like, what job do you want? I was like, do you have something in entertainment? She's like, entertainment? She said, like New York City. It's like, entertainment. And I was like, yeah. So hold up, come back tomorrow. I come back. She's like, hey, I got you public affairs, now get the F out of my office. And I didn't know what public affairs was at all. I ship out to boot camp. They teased me so hard by my drill sergeants. Well, they call them drill sergeants to everybody, but they're called drill instructors in the Marine Corps. they teased me because they said, we know where you live. And I didn't know that they had my record book, and they knew that I lived right there by the neighboring city of Oceanside and Camp Pendleton. They're like, hey, listen, we know where you live. Why don't you give up? Why don't you quit? You're weak. We know you're a loser. Just quit. And I was like, how do they know where I'm at? So that was messing with me. And I was all, imagine I'm not a Marine yet. So I'm like crying. I'm like, how do you know everything about me? But it's because they had my record book. And they're like, you're a loser. You're going to quit, this and that. And I didn't quit because I wanted to prove them wrong. And that's what they were doing. Then, so like I graduated boot camp. Everything was good to go. They're like, hey, you graduated boot camp and we know you're a reporter. I'm like, a reporter? I thought I was public affairs. I don't know what that is. Anyways, after that, I ship off to infantry training, which is the Marine Corps combat training. So basically every Marine, we go to boot camp and then we go on to a follow-on training, which is infantry or a Marine combat training. So there's a saying called every Marine a rifleman, meaning like you can grab me, any Marine, and just like throw a rifle at him and say, go, and we could still like hit our target regardless of our job. Like that's what we are basically. Mm-hmm. Just like, it's called a basically trained Marine. And that's why a lot of people are scared of Marines, because we all shoot. We're very good. And you cannot graduate boot camp without being a very good shot, like very good. So after I graduated the shooting and combat skills and all that type of stuff, all that jazz, I went on to public affairs school at Fort George G. Meade. And there we learned journalism. And we learned journalism with all the other services, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, you name it, and Marines. So I'm in school learning how to write stories, make press releases, everything that the news does. I know exactly how to do it. That's why, like, if it's BS, I can call it out. I can see it. I'm like, that's not how it is, or they just fabricated this, or they twisted this. That's not how the news goes, right? And then so I know how to do that because of that. But then they also teach you how to take photos. So now I'm learning how to use my analytical skills and all the artistic skills in photo. So they teach me how to do photos. And then they said, okay, cool. We told you how to do that. We taught you how to do that. Now we want to see if there's anybody who can qualify for the radio program to be on the radio or TV broadcasting. And I'm like, that's me. All I have been in my whole life was teased because of my enunciation. And they were like, you're not Black because you talk white and you talk perfect. That's all they were saying. And I was just like, oh man, this is going to be perfect for me. I'm going to say ha 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 to all those people who made fun of the way I talk. I knew I was a newscaster all my whole life. This is going to be perfect for me. And they don't know that I want to be a rapper. I might be able to use the radio equipment. Yeah, it's going to be good, right? Yeah. I do the test. I fail it. They're like, you failed. We're dropping you from the course and you're just a regular journalist now. I'm like, why? They're like, because you mispronounced the word ask. I'm like, oh man. So, and because, like a lot of times you're talking, you might say ask. So I just asked you a question. So I was just reciting what they told me to recite on that piece of paper, but I brisked by it and I said ask. And so that changed my whole trajectory of where I was going to go. I was going to go to like Japan or somebody like, I was going to go to Japan or somewhere like that. Instead, they say, hey, you know what? We got a good unit for you to go to. We looked at your PT scores, your top of your class, really fast, really in shape. You're looking good, and your photos were good, and your writing good. Everything's good there. So imagine I'm a dropout basically because I had to do it again. I'm basically a journalist dropout. They're like, we're going to send you to 1st Marine Division, and you're going to Camp Pendleton. And I didn't put two and two together.
Sounds good.
How old were you at this point?
Oh, I'm 21.
You're still young, yeah.
I'm super young. And you're 21, because I spent 2 years in college. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I was 20, turning 21 at boot camp.
Okay.
And then the course was like 6 months or something. So it was really quick, really fast. They're like, we're gonna send you to 1st Marine Division. I was like, okay, cool. Send me to 1st Marine Division. And like, so I check in the base. They're like, no, you're up there. And it was like the mountains and stuff. It was like a cartoon. It was like the mountains and stuff. They're like, up there. And so I go and check in. They're like, hey, welcome to 1st Marine Division. Welcome to 1st Marine Division with the infantry. And I'm like, what? So I got attached. So I'm a reporter that got attached to the infantry because I was in shape. And females don't go with, you know what I mean? So like I got attached to the infantry. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, we're like leaving in like a couple months. So yeah. I'm like, what? Yeah, to Iraq. So like,
Thanks.
oh, cute. But in the meantime, I was working for the newspaper down at the general's building. So the general has his own like staff and everything. And he put the newspaper crew downstairs and they would cover base stories like the general got a new dog or whatever, you know, like stupid stuff like that.
Neighborhood crap.
The chow hall is getting renovated, like things like that. You know, the base football team won against the, you know, the air wing football team, stupid stuff like that. And that's very important to know.
Yep.
So then I'm about to go to deployment. But this is also important to know. Pay attention to this. So the lady who recruited me, she's married to a Marine who was married to a Marine who was a little foreshadowing there, was married to a Marine who served with the Purple Foxes, which was an air squadron, right? And they would do like rescue missions and things like that. And they would rescue infantry, like guys that were on the ground. So we were on the ground and then there was like air people, right? And that would come down and like medevac us and stuff, because that was the fastest way, because we would get blown up and stuff. Getting blown up means attacked by an improvised explosive device, guys, or IED. I deployed to Iraq. One of the first patrols was mounted, which means inside of a vehicle or a tank. So I was inside of a tank. I mean, not inside of a tank. I was inside of a Humvee or a Hummer, like you guys may know, but not like you guys see in the streets, like a very up armored type of thing. And I was the second vehicle or Vic in that patrol. So there was one vehicle in front of me, and then I was the one right behind it. That first one ran over an IED, kaboom, blew up. So that one blew up, and so all those people in there got injured. We just saw a ball of fire. And then they're like, everybody get out, dismount. So dismount means we all had to get out. So I'm like, what is going on? All I knew was to turn on my video camera, like turn my video camera on. And then also, I'm also holding my camera. I'm holding my video camera and I'm holding my rifle at the same time. I'm coming up behind this ball of fire. They're dragging those guys who got hit into the alleyway, right? And mind you, it's super hot. I weigh about 200 and something pounds because I have 50 pounds of gear, plus my 8-pound rifle, and like my 2-pound camera or whatever it was. And I'm following all the guys dragging the injured people into the alleyway. They called in the medevac. This huge helicopter comes down and lands and picks up everybody who got hit and blown up, pulled them into the helicopter. They ended up being fine. They had like broken ribs and stuff. They all got Purple Hearts and stuff. So this helicopter starts to lift up all the way up into the sky. And I'm like watching it, and I pull up my video camera and I'm watching it and I'm filming it. I'm like, wow, I have burning fire. I have a helicopter from the bottom. It showed all those guys getting medevaced. Man, it's gonna be some award-winning stuff. And then I said, Raymond, and then myself said, yeah, you're in the air. And I said, I am? He said, yeah, if you don't believe me, look down. So Raymond looked down. I was like 8 feet off the ground because I was caught in like this air vacuum bubble underneath the helicopter. I didn't know that happens. It does. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that or can imagine it. It's like a vacuum.
I can imagine it. I didn't know it happened.
So imagine a vacuum, you know, because it has the propeller and underneath it, it sucks everything up. That happened to me as a whole 200-pound person lifting up. And I was looking up like, whoa. So I had to make a decision. I said, Raymond, you know what you need to do? I let go of the camera. The camera whipped around me. I landed on the camera, crushed the camera with all that fire and all that footage. Because it was either I dropped the camera or my rifle.
Yeah.
You're a Marine, so you're not dropping your rifle. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So all that footage, boom, just gone. So they medevac these guys out. I have that deployment. We had all these combat patrols and stuff like that. It was crazy because like when we were out there, Also, we had times where, and this is something that people don't talk about. We had times where we would do like hearts and minds and building bridges and things like that. When I say building bridges, like I'm saying within the community, not actual bridge, but just like, meeting people and stuff like that. They're just to show people that we're like not monsters,
Yeah.
So if the sheikh, I don't know if you ever heard about this, but a sheikh is a village elder. If he said, hey, come into my house or come sit down and eat and drink chai tea with me, you do it. You don't, that's what you do. You never refuse it, never do that. So it's like, hey, come down, let's eat goat, let's eat naan bread, let's drink chai tea. I've never, like, to this day, I've never had naan bread or chai tea as good as I've ever had overseas. It's the bomb. Like you will never have it. Like it, and it's like a high. You know how people say when they do drugs, they have one high and then they try to chase that. Like even when I've been to Starbucks, I ask for a chai tea, like just like sentimental reasons. You know what I mean? But I'm like,
that's my favorite.
I sip it and I go, not the same. and I sigh, and then I get naan bread and I try to toast it as much as I can, still not the same. Because the thing is when we went out and we went on these missions, we would have chai tea or we'd eat bread. This lady, she made bread for us one time because we were creating this security perimeter around her and her house along with the Iraqi police. And I have a picture, I need to share it with you guys. It's the most beautiful thing. But we're creating this perimeter. And while we're creating this perimeter, it was early in the morning. And, breakfast to them is whatever they have, right? Mm-hmm. So this morning she was cooking naan bread, which was crazy. This morning she was cooking naan bread. And she was making this naan bread in a cow dung oven. So I don't know if you guys ever heard about this, but it's made out of mud and cow poop. And they shaped it into like an oven. So imagine a pizza oven, but made out of cow poop and mud, right? And straw or whatever it was, right? Mm-hmm. And they put the fire underneath and then they put the naan bread in there. So basically they would have something like a pizza, I don't know what that thing is called, a pizza tray thing where it's like a pizza spoon, or I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
They use the pizza spoon, they put the naan bread in there, fire it up, and it was at the absolute best naan bread I've ever had in my life. Everybody got like a frisbee of naan bread. So imagine all these Marines with all this combat gear, rifles, are like looking like little kids biting into this frisbee of naan bread. And then the Iraqi police was there and stuff like that. And then we had the best possible time. Like that was a good moment. And then we had a good moment where we went to a school and we provided like books and things to like little girls. People don't know how big this is. Like little girls weren't allowed to like read and write and do things like this. And then especially medical care, because a lot of them were a lot of the kids were drinking from the Euphrates River, which was polluted at the time because unfortunately they were dumping dead bodies in there. And then there was another time where, and I'm telling these good stories because they're never told. And there was another time where this kid was running up towards me. And I think I've told this before in my life, but this kid was running up towards me. And only if you've been overseas, you'd understand this. And people might think this is crazy and taboo, but you have a decision whether to shoot a person coming into your patrol or not. I know it sounds messed up, but it's because
that's what you're there for, though. Because
it's the kid or a woman coming up with a bomb and they could blow up everybody else. So imagine, I'm going to ask everybody at home though, like if you're listening to this, would you be mad at me for shooting like a woman who has a bomb strapped to her body, or mad at me because she blew up your husband and I could have shot them first? So think about that, y'all. So you know what I'm saying? So that's something that y'all have to think about. Not a great
position to be in.
Yeah, it's a horrible position. You would probably be mad at me because I could have shot that woman, and then you would have your husband, but now your husband's dead because I didn't shoot her and she blew your husband up. So it's like, what do you do? And that's just an open-ended question for you guys. So we always have that in our mind. Like, what will we do? Kids coming up. And I stand out the most because I'm just like, they would call me Chocolate Man. You know what I mean? I'm a black man, chocolate man. I'm a black man, amongst all the other white men over there or Mexican men that are Marines, and then chocolate man. It was a funny thing. The kids don't know better. They don't mean it in a racist way. They mean it in like a fun.
Like chocolate milk or chocolate, you're that color. Yeah.
I look like a chocolate bunny. Like, I am a chocolate man. So chocolate man. So they're running up and I didn't know what to do. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna let this kid come up to me. And he looks up at me and he has dry, chapped lips. And he's like, water. And I'm like, yo, imagine how much of an impact that, like, think about that. Like I could go like pour me some water. Right there, you drink it out of a bottle. Are you serious? That's rich. They say that's rich. They say that's rich because we've been over when we were doing patrols, we would stop at rich people's houses and they would say, come, and they had air conditioning and they say, come in and you know, take your shoes off and everything. And they were rich. You could tell they were rich, like in Iraq. Come on, take your shoes off. And they would invite us in because they didn't want any drama or any problems. And they're like, would you like, you know, something to drink? And it would be a nice ornate, like cup, glass cup. And they're like, do you want some Coke? And they would like a cup like this. And they're like, do you want some Coke? And they would pour some Coke and it would be nice, ice cold Coke. And that was rich. That was rich. You know, water and ice cold Coke and things, and on the drop of a dime. This kid wanted some water because other kids who sipped out of the Euphrates got sick or died because the water was contaminated. So I was like, man, at the time, my brother was about the same age. And I'm like, man, I'll never take things for granted again. I'll enjoy every moment. And that's why, you know, on my podcast, I talk about, you know, being alive every day and appreciate those things. But I ended up giving him my water bottle because, but like before he ran up to me and he went away and stuff, and I gave my water bottle and his thirst was quenched. But like before that moment, I had a different mindset and I felt like I was very selfish. And again, I had some things I had to work out and I still was aggressive, but that part of me was changed because before that moment, before he walked up, we were mounted again. This was a whole different patrol. We were mounted again. And they said, hey, camera guy, you want to stay inside the vehicle or do you want to get out and patrol and do 5 and 25s? And 5 and 25s was checking for mines. So he basically asked me, do you want to check for mines inside of the vehicle or do you want to check for mines on your foot outside of the vehicle? So this is what that meant. Yeah, there's absolutely neither. But this is what that meant. It meant, do you want to lose your legs or have a possibility of not losing your legs and just getting burned? Like if there is a bomb. And I'm like, I will take, you know, me just getting burned or something, you know. But anyways, they're like, psych, that was a trick question. You are getting out, boot. And boot means basically you're just at the bottom of the totem pole. So I got out and I was point man. And point man means not only was I the boot, it also means point man means I'm at the top of the patrol in front. So the first person to touch anything on the ground. Because I was already an outsider because I'm the camera guy. Like, get out there and you're gonna sweep for mines on foot. Did they have mine sweepers? Yeah, but it was just a protocol that we had. Because we had to sweep for mines before we went into our base. And we were like a football field away from our base before that kid had came up. And all I could think of in my mind was, oh man, when I go back inside, I'm gonna get an ice cold water and Otis Spunkmeyer muffins because
heck yeah, those are delicious.
They were sending us from the States the Otis Spunkmeyer muffins, the double chocolate chip ones, the good.
Oh, those are good.
So imagine you don't have nothing out there, and it was either MREs, which is meals ready to eat, and I'm explaining for viewers and listeners, meals ready to eat, that which was making us constipated, or you got a nice ice cold water and an Otis Spunkmeyer muffin, right? And it tasted really good because it was hot out there, so it automatically warmed up the muffin. Right?
Yep.
So we were so happy. And all I could think was, I'm gonna get my muffin, I'm gonna get that ice cold water, I don't care. Hopefully I make it past these bombs. So bombs were in the way, the kid was in the way, and then my selfishness was in the way until that kid. But luckily I did get inside, I got my muffin and my ice cold water, but I also got a humbling experience at that moment. So I had all those moments. I had firefights also, them shooting at us and stuff. Because we couldn't shoot them until they shot us, by the way. A lot of people don't know that. We had a rule of engagement that we cannot shoot somebody else without them shooting us. That's why you'll hear a lot of veterans and military people chime in when there's police shootings, because they're like, how don't you have the discipline to know what your threat is within a split second? Because we had to make, as military members, split second decisions like look and see, oh no, that's a woman. Look and see, oh no, that's a kid. Like literally split. I don't know if you've ever seen on cop shows, they'll do that little women will pop up, babies will pop up, and they have to they'll have to go like this in a split second. So we were so good that we could shoot something or somebody and not hit a woman. Like that's how good we are. Like right over their shoulder or something. You know what I mean? So like which is so cool. Like I can't believe we did something like that. So it's crazy, right? Anyway, so
I know you're gonna have to come and teach and work with me on shooting.
I will absolutely take you guys out on a shooting
because
day,
like I can hit the target in about a 6-inch realm, which it would still hurt somebody if I shot them, but I'm not very good at hitting the bullseye. So I need a little help on that.
I can even tell you right now. So when you look at your target, when you get your target back, right? You got your target back before. What does it look like? Can you describe to me, is it a straight line across, up and down, everywhere, a circle? Tell me what happens.
So what I normally, I get the like really random one because I don't hit I don't get the person or the bullseye. I get the one that looks like a circus thing, like you're shooting the ducks on like it's very weird. I'll send you a picture, but I can generally like I will be trying to hit the bullseye in the middle, and I'm up over here or I'm over here, or then I don't even know where it went, but I most of the time can stay within that like 6-inch span of things. So I take that as being pretty good. So it's like, well,
that actually is pretty good. So how are you as a person? Are you calm, like you're breathing on a regular basis?
No, I'm kind of a spaz.
You are? That's interesting.
Well, I think normally I'm probably fine. So when I first go in, I'm okay, but then I can then it's like, damn it, I'm not hitting it. And then I get more flustered. And so then I have to like put it down, take a breath and try again. And then it gets better. So that's what I notice is that I have, like when I start to not panicking, but when I start to be like, oh crap, it's not going. Then I start thinking like, what the hell's going to happen if like, I really have to shoot this?
Yeah. But you say you panic, but how's your breathing while you're shooting though? Well, how would you describe it?
No, I don't pay attention to it, which is probably the problem.
Do you think you breathe? Do you hold your breath or no?
I probably do.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're doing is it's your trigger control. So what you're doing is when you're shooting, if it was your breath, you go. So when you breathe, what do you do? Go. Right.
Yeah.
So that means your shooting would be up and down, but you said it's not usually. It's not up and down. So it's not your breath. So if you say it's your trigger control, what does the gun do? Jerk. Jerk. Yep. So that's what you're doing. You're jerking slightly. So it's your trigger control. So what you need to do is you need to slow, steady squeeze, which means is you need to pull until you feel that click. Yeah. You're anticipating the pull.
Totally.
So you need to relax more, really relax, and just squeeze, like just how you're squeezing anything. Just squeeze until you hear a clunk, and then you're good. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I know it's totally derailed your story. So sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
We actually got one where it's like the laser bullet, so that you don't get the trigger or the kickback and all stuff. I can't shoot that at all because I'm so anticipating the recoil that's why it goes off like So yeah, I just need you to come in and tell me what I'm doing.
There you go.
Fix it.
No, I mean like I can shoot, like I don't really I don't like to be like I can shoot, because you sound like it sounds corny, you know what I mean? Right. But since you brought it up. But people
I know you can, so I'd like you to fix it. Yep.
So yeah, we'll do I think we should do like a live podcast with shooting. That would be cool. That would be cool, right? I teach you guys how to shoot and everything, and I'll be like, I'll coach you.
Heck yeah, I'll bring. Yep. My husband and I, we used to go every week, but we probably go like once a month just to stay up, and then I make sure that my boys go every once in a while because they need to just understand, like you don't touch it, like unless we're there, you don't touch it ever. They can't get them anyway, but
I'm saying bring the whole gang. But the most important thing, what would you tell me? What would you think the most important thing is to know with shooting? The first thing. Very first thing.
Don't put your finger on the trigger.
How about you, Bridget?
I would say how to hold it properly.
There you go. Well, I mean, you guys both kind of said it, but like literally, if I see somebody, I've been in a lot of situations, if I see somebody holding a weapon wrong, incorrectly, I won't even trust to be around them with guns, because if you don't know how to hold it and you think it's a joke, like I can't be around you.
Nope.
Like there's been plenty of situations where I've been in different vehicles and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say where, guys, but just know that I've been in different dangerous situations. I've been in vehicles where there was a person who was handling a weapon and it kind of aimed at me and I went, nope. And I changed the whole vehicle. I went to another vehicle because I was like, they're like, what do you, it's not loaded. I said, I don't care.
You don't act like, you always act like it's loaded.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't even let my boys do that with Nerf guns. Like you don't ever point it at anybody.
Finger straight off the trigger.
Yeah.
If they don't know the weapon safety rules, then no.
Yeah, we go to a range that, I mean, most of them obviously have the cameras, but like, even if you so much as move it off the bench or you do whatever, it's tilted funny, they'll be in there like that saying, fix your stuff. Or you're not
Exactly.
like, you only get so many warnings. It's cool, but yeah, that's super.
Yeah,
lucky.
you cannot do that. No, but it's cool. It's good to know. But like, you should know how to shoot, like regardless if you're in combat or you're at home and stuff like that. So speaking of, like, when I got back from Iraq, I was like, oh man, I didn't have a chance to like really record. So when I went to Afghanistan, I brought a portable recorder. So I started recording and I started getting better. So between patrols and stuff, I would record and they'd be like, shut up, we're trying to sleep, because everybody's on a different shift. Right. I posted some photos and I'll post them again, but I have photos of when I'm sitting on a cot rapping. And I don't know if any of you guys seen it, but I have a photo of me sitting on a cot rapping, like literally in Afghanistan. It's the coolest thing. And they're like, shut up. And then one of my buddies who's an artist was literally, he writes books now and he's an artist now. He's a Marine too. And it's crazy that we both came back and now we do creative stuff. But he's like, yeah, no, he, like when he says he did all this stuff, he actually did A, B, and C. He actually was rapping in between patrols and things like that.
Incessantly. And we tried to stop him.
He's like, shut up. But like, but he said it wasn't because, you know, I sucked or whatever, but he was like, yo, like you had to realize I needed to sleep, bro. But I like, that's how hungry I was. Like, I was just like, I don't know if I'll come back, this and that. So that was happening there. Then I got back and then I didn't really take rapping that seriously. I made some songs here and there. I was more focused on seeing my daughter. So I ended up going to Hawaii and spending time with her and stuff like that. And then I got in trouble because when I went to go see my daughter, I did not put in for leave.
Whoops.
Wow.
So I got in trouble. It's called a non-judicial punishment. And what it means is they could take your rank. They could do everything. They could take your pay, your rank, everything. Because I didn't ask for permission. And then my boss called me. He's like, hey, where are you? And I'm like, I'm at home. He's like, you're lying. I know you're not at home. Because I said home, but I was at somebody's home.
Not my home.
Not my home.
Yeah.
But obviously I big time learned my lesson for that. Anyways, I ended up flying back. And then before I did that, they were going to send me, and this is very important. This is the reason why I'm here. They were going to send me to Syracuse, New York to do an advanced photography class, to be in the Marine Corps, but to go be an advanced style photographer. So what that means is I would wear civilian attire, but go to college and get my degree. So you can only do that if you're like top percentile of reporters and things, right?
Wow.
So I got a couple years prior when we were getting all the bread, I got a photo of that woman without her shawl on, her hijab on. So like she was barefaced and she was so beautiful. All the women over there are so beautiful, like naturally beautiful, no makeup, no nothing. Middle Eastern women. And I got a award for that, for capturing that, because it was her. And then in the distance, you can see the Iraqi police protecting her house. but she froze because she's like, oh, a Black man. And I'm like, oh my gosh, a woman. And then she froze, so it was just like, you know what I mean? Cause I'm very rare over there, So I got an award for that. So I got the highest award you can get in the military. So I became like known as like a very good photographer. So I was set to go to Syracuse to go to their photography because Syracuse has a great journalism program. But it got taken away when I went, it's called UA or AWOL or whatever you call it, because I didn't ask for permission. But I went UA because I went to go see my daughter, which is like and I lied about it. So, but I learned my lesson there. I was like, I won't be doing that no more. Right. But anyway, so I got back and then they were like, I had to stand tall in front of the man, the officer. The ironic thing is I stood in front of the same guy who welcomed me back from Afghanistan, saying how much of a good job I was doing for the infantry. And my journalism was making a whole impact on the history of Marine and military journalism. So imagine, the last time he saw me, he's like, you are the reason why military is getting documented. You are the reason why we will have history and we will be able to immortalize any of our fallen troops. Congratulations, bravo. Anything you need from me. Yeah. Next time I see you, ask. So the next time I see him is when I'm standing tall in front of him in trouble. And it's like, I wanted to see you again, but not like this. Like, and so like, imagine I'm standing there like, and you have to stand like seriously, your face straight. Mm-hmm. It's like, hate to do this, man. So I'm gonna have to tank your rank, and I'm a sergeant. I'm a Marine sergeant. Oh. So if anybody has been in the Marines or in the military, Marine sergeant is so highly regarded that other services like fear them. Like if a Marine sergeant came to an army unit, they'd be like, oh my gosh, like I was like Major Payne, put it that way. Major Payne, all those like little kids, but with grown men though. Like I was not a nice person. Like I was not nice. And so I was a Marine sergeant. So like I had all the power, and I came back from Iraq and Afghanistan. So I had this chip on my shoulder, like, you can't kill me. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't, no, like literally they couldn't kill me. Like right. I was untouchable. You couldn't kill me. And I came back and I was kind of psycho because I was running rooftop to rooftop like Aladdin, taking pictures of the patrols that were 6 feet below me. Like that was cool. What type of, like, it was just the coolest thing. And I was just like, and so like, to give you context about how fast I was, like I was running first class PFTs, which means that you run 18-minute 3 miles. So
running 18 minutes,
very fast. so very fast. You know what I'm saying? So I think, but I didn't run exactly 18 minutes. It was like 19, but still I'm very like super fast. And I ran marathons and stuff. So like super fast, but with 50 pounds of gear, jumping and leaping like Aladdin. Like it was just, you get what I'm saying? So I come back with that type of chip on my shoulder until I'm standing in front of the man and he's saying, I don't care what you've done. You're not untouchable because we're going to strip you of your sergeant rank. So I'm like, but not today. He said, but not today. Oh. We're not going to do it. He said, we're not going to do it. That's why you probably don't see see no other pictures, only sergeant, because he's like, you know what? You've never gotten in trouble. And I have never gotten in trouble. And then what I've got in trouble for wasn't like, I didn't get in a fight or, yeah. It was like, I lied. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's kind of an understandable thing as well.
Yeah. So he was like, it was wrong. And I was like, yeah. He's like, it was wrong, but you've done so much. I'm going to give you a chance and I'm going to suspend your demotion, which means don't get in trouble for, I think it was like, is it 3 months? Something like, it was a lot. In Marine years, it's a long time. Yeah. Because imagine like military culture, going out on the weekends, drinking, your boys fighting, like imagine that type of like tussle type of vibe, right? And they're like, don't get in trouble. And you're like, okay, you know what I mean? So it's like, don't get trouble ever again.
I'll try.
But I didn't because he did a suspension on my rank and he gave me restriction. and he gave me extra duty. So that meant I was in the barracks as a grown sergeant, cleaning and scrubbing, while the young guys see me do this. See you later, Sergeant. I'll see you on Monday. I'm going out into town, and while I'm scrubbing, you understand how
Made an example out of you.
Yep.
So you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. So it's like I learned my lesson for sure. Like, yeah, I'm never doing that again, and I never did that again. So I got to keep my sergeant rank. Very happy for that. But since they couldn't send me to Syracuse, they sent me to Texas to recruiting duty, and this changed everything. So if you've ever been in recruiting and you know how to use it, they gave the wrong person that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, ha, 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 ha. So they sent me to recruiting, and then they're teaching me how to, like, persuade people and talk people and stuff like that. But I was the public affairs arm of that. So I was working on the radio stations, TV stations, and the billboards that you see when you're passing, like the Few, the Proud, the Marines. Like, those billboards are done by public affairs people like me who are at recruiting stations. And also, like, those pull-up bars. I don't know if you guys ever seen those at high schools. Marines like me. So I would set those up, and I would do all the work and balloons and all that type of stuff, making sure the recruiters had all they need. But I'm like figuring things out, and I'm just like, oh snap, everything they do is color coded. And then so later, that's why I made my hair the red stripe, because that is the red stripe is on the uniform of the Marines. And I was like,
oh,
okay.
Cool.
And then you hear me say, like, devil dog in my music, and I do the juxtaposition of devil dog and God, because God backward is dog, and like, talking about, God at the same time, and am I, going to be able and be worthy of going to heaven and stuff like that. Well, we'll talk about that later and stuff. But anyways, they taught me marketing, and then also YouTube started to get big, and like nobody was doing it, but like my lieutenant, my boss was like, hey, like, they're doing a lot of celebrity ball invites, and you're a young Black man, and Betty White's an older white woman, and why don't you ask Betty White to the ball? RIP. Why don't you ask Betty White to the ball? And so I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, just whatever. So I noticed, like, there was two other people. There was one that asked out Justin Timberlake, and there was one that asked out Mila Kunis, and I was the third. There's a big three. The guy was in Iraq. The girl was, she does martial arts, so she was wearing her martial arts thing, and then I was wearing my blues. And if you've ever seen Marine Corps blues, let's put it this way: Marine Corps blues is the reason I was made. My mom said that. She said she saw that. There was nothing else to say. The next day she was pregnant because she saw my dad in Marine Corps blues. That's what Marine Corps blues does, ladies. If you have never seen it, like, you can be the ugliest thing in the world. If you get a guy, he cleans up, gets a haircut, puts a little cologne on, wears Marine Corps blues, done. Is it true? It's the truth, right? You wears Marine Corps blues, you're like, you know what? He doesn't look so dopey anymore. He's kind of cute. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, you close your eyes.
Clean up nicely.
He takes you to a ball. He gives you a flower or two. You know what I mean? And you're just like, how did this dork marry me? It happens, Anyways, so I was in my Marine Corps blues, and I asked out Betty White, viral. So 300,000 views. And back at that time at YouTube, it wasn't heard of. Also, Oprah's friend Gail, she covered it because Betty White was on Gail's show, and she's like, yo, do you know a Marine asked you out? She's like, yeah, this and that. They covered it on the news. It was
so Betty White actually saw it.
She did. She put out a statement. She said, hey, thank you to the Marine who asked me out. I won't be able to go because I'm shooting, was it Always Sunny? Was it always? No, not Always Sunny. She's shooting a sitcom.
Oh.
It was one of the sitcoms that she was doing. Was it Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or I gotta look it up. I forget
Golden
which
Girls.
one it is.
Just kidding.
It wasn't Golden Girls. It was I'm gonna look it up right now because I have to look it up because I want you guys to know the show, because that was the show that she was filming, and that show was something hot in Cleveland. It was hot in Cleveland. She's filming that, and then she said, you're invited to the set or whatever. And then so I was like, phew, because at that time when I became quasi famous in the Marine Corps, all my superiors were like, I think it was the lieutenant colonel. He called me in his office like, "Hey, Double Dog," and Double Dog is a nickname for Marine. Hey, Double Dog. I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why did you make a YouTube video?" And that probably sounds funny right now,
Mhm.
but at that time it was they thought it was a big deal. Hey, Double Dog, why'd you make a YouTube video? And I said, "Oh, I thought it would be cool." Now, mind you, the lieutenant told me to do it,
Mhm.
but I ain't no snitch.
Nope.
So I didn't want to get him while I was in. I was never talking about it. I do it now because I think it's like a funny story, and he knows now. But he was like, and the lieutenant colonel knew. He knew. So this time I did lie again, but I lied in a good way. So just to let you know. So I did lie again, but I lied again, but nobody got in trouble this time.
Right.
So
I wasn't going to rat anyone out.
and he's like, "Hey, did anybody tell you to do it?" I was like, "No, sir." He's like, "Very well, get out." Like, you know what I mean? Because he wanted me to say it. He wanted me to say it. I was like, "Nobody, sir." And I had my chin all high up in the air. "Nobody, give me my licks or whatever." Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I thought I was gonna be in trouble.
You would have been had you ratted him out.
Right.
I think so. I think I think I made the right decision for that one. Not going to Hawaii, but the other one.
Yeah.
But I was like, "All right, sir," and then I left. And but then what that taught me was, I'm like, I'm kind of good at social media, but I'm just glad that that's all over with because everything calmed down. My unit was fine, no more drama. Then boom, another video popped up. "Hey Ray, I feel so bad, and Betty called me and I've been crying all night." So this is a video from another actress with glasses on. So this actress is basically the quintessential example of how a woman should be. And she has been the center of all memes if you want to say how a woman should be. Literally, Sarah Connor asked me out on a YouTube video. Linda Hamilton from Terminator, she asked me out.
What?
Yes, for real. So Linda Hamilton asked me out. She's like, "Betty," she was so sad, and I was sad. We were both crying. "So Ray, if you would," and it's still on YouTube. She's like, "Ray, if you would you take me to the Marine Corps ball, please?" And she blows me a kiss. And the video's up there too. And she's
Is this the one you have a picture with?
Yes, that's Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
No, like from Terminator, like actually
like the Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
For real, seriously.
Like kick your ass, Sarah Connor.
Yes. So people,
totally.
It's funny, like after that happened, they're like, "For that, you will always be a legend." Like everybody's like, "For that, there's nobody who can touch you." Like, so imagine like you take the women that like even women big up, they're not even jealous of her. They're like, "This is how you should be. You shouldn't have to take off your clothes. You should be, you can still be a badass with the gun, and you know what I mean, be respectful and still be sexy
the world.
and save the world." You know what I mean? Like, imagine you take that person, like, so like I took her and I was just like, whoa, and so that happened. But I'm still thinking I'm pretty good at social media. And then somebody's like, "Hey yo," and then, "Hey yo, what are you gonna do? It's time for you to get out almost. What are you gonna do?" I'm like, because after that moment, I ended up being stationed in New Orleans, and they're like, "Yo, what are you gonna do? You're gonna stay in or you're gonna get out?" Because at this point, I could pick up the next rank or get out. You want to go for the next rank or no? And I was just like, "Nah." They're like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I'm a rap." They're like, "Yeah, right." Haha. And it gets funnier every year. Haha. It gets funny every year, right? Because there's like another accolade. They're like, "Haha." And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And so, but I was like, man, I'm so good at the social media stuff. They're like, "What would it take for you to stay in?" I was like, "You would have to make a rapper position in the military and put me in the band. And if you know how funny that is, I will like, it gets me my eyes watery. If you have any idea if you've been following me, guys, if anybody has been following me, it's that what I just said is the most hilarious thing in the whole world. Why? Because what did they just make in the military? There is a position in the band for a rapper, and the first two just left to boot camp. And I've been saying it. And it's crazy because those two guys were like, "We know you're the OG." And I'm just like, I was like,
at least they know.
No,
I got you your job, man. I got you your job.
I was like, as long as they said it, I'm good. Like I almost wanted to cry when he said it because it was like, I just wanted, you know what I mean? That's all I wanted was somebody to admit it. It's like, go ahead and just admit it. Why is it so hard for you guys to admit? Like, it's okay. Like, but the guys were like, yeah, we like we don't even have to front. Like, we know you are, like, because there's people who like know who I am and they just still won't, you know. They're like, we know you're the one who made it like mainstream. Like, am I the first ever military, whatever? No. There's Shaggy, there's like other people, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's Mystical, there's Shaggy, but no one has been like, I'm military. No one said it. No one says it. No one owns it. No one owned it before me or Space Force or anything like that. Like we're the first military rap group to like own it, like really put on like every day, not like make one song, not like some tiny, like every day do something like over and over again. We're the first. So and that's the point that I was making about the whole military and the greatest military person. It's like who actually puts on, who actually been there, who actually has the real story, not a country singer who hasn't been there talking about their friend. I'm talking about who's actually been in combat firefights, who has pictures to prove it, who have people to tell other people that he was there, and the music is good, and the accolades are good, and the streams are good, and the sales are good. Who has that? Who has, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I say military, because I am the only combat one. Like no one else has been in the combat side. But like that's what I'm talking about. But anyways, back to what I was saying about the Sarah Connor thing. I started being good at social media. Then I started shooting my own videos because people weren't fast enough for me. So I started shooting my own videos. Then I got better at shooting my own videos. Then I got better at editing my own videos. And then I was like, okay, I got to get better at rapping. Then I started getting better at rapping.
Everything else.
And just sitting back, and I started doing this thing where I would go to hip hop circuits and stuff like that. And so like, I know a lot of big hip hop people, like I'm talking about Wu-Tang, like people like that, like big guys, people who work with Kanye, like big hip hop people. So I know a lot of hip hop people, a lot of hip hop circuits around the country and all that stuff. So I was a reporter though. I was just sitting back, learning and listening. And they're like, oh, I did this. And then I was like, yeah. What else you do? Oh, I did this. All right, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was like, let me add the reporter side with the military side, and I put it together and interview. And I would interview them all. And then I started like getting better and better. But for some reason, in between there, I stopped rapping and I was like, I'm gonna be a journalist and go around the country and like interview all these interesting vets. And I don't regret it, but it was like that kind of like derailed me a little bit. One of the most interesting vets that I've ever met in my life, he lived to be 112 years old. He's an Army veteran, a World War II veteran. His name is Richard Overton. Well, he just passed away, and he was in Texas. He lived through everything. Put it this way, he was in Texas. He wasn't allowed in some neighborhoods. He lived so long to where the police was kicking him out of neighborhoods, to where the police was protecting him from white people trying to rob him in his own house.
Wow.
It like flipped, like, you know what I'm saying? But he
live long enough, everything will flip.
He wasn't doing anything. Obviously, he was just walking while black, you know what I mean? Like at those times. But like he lived so long, he had the police protecting him, doing police checks. Also, he got to go into the White House when Obama was in. Like, how crazy is that? You know what I mean? So he did that, and he was funny too. He was like, yeah, he's like, I like my women young. And so like he's 100. When I met him, he was 109, and he had like a little 90-year-old.
He's like, everybody's young.
Yeah, he had like a little 90-year-old lady with him, and then she was laughing. She's like, he like his women young. And it's funny, he outlived everybody, like his grandkids too. Like I think he had like a great grandkid over when I was over, and he's like, this is my great whatever, and she was white. And imagine, he's like my color, and she was white, because by the time it got down the family tree, they ended up like literally looking all white. Like it was just like a weird, it's like, yeah, this is my, and as you went, you saw it, but he had like white great grandchildren and stuff like that, like just like look white looking, obviously they had black in them and stuff. But I got to learn him and learn his story, and until I went to the Midwest. I was actually in Wisconsin.
Best place ever.
I was actually in Wisconsin a year your old stomping grounds, right?
A little bit.
I was actually in Wisconsin, and when I went to Wisconsin, I caught up with my old buddy. His name's Chris. And the thing about the Marine Corps, or about the military in general, but I would say specifically the Marine Corps, you can be like, hey bro, I'm coming into town. You got a couch for me? Yeah, got you. Like it's not even yeah, bro, I'll set you up. Hey, you want something to eat? Yeah, I'm hungry too. I'll have a steak and a beer ready for you. No, this is all. If you around military folks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, oh, no problem. No biggie. Yeah, I got you. And then so like I came into town, and I was driving, and I was actually with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and he housed both of us and stuff. And like at that time I was broke as a joke, like not even like broker than a joke. It was not funny at all. And it was in the middle of winter, right? Ugh. So it's embarrassing. I have my ex-girlfriend there, my girlfriend at the time there, and me. And then he lets us sleep in the living room. He's like, hey, bro, you need me to like, get you guys something to eat or whatever. So it was a humbling experience. And then my car ended up breaking down.
Oh, of course.
And he's like, and then we're like, yo, and I was like, yo, man, we can't stay here. My car's broke. I don't have a car. I don't have the money. I need to try to figure it out in LA, man. Because my girl's mom lives out in LA. And maybe we can, we could crash on her couch. All right, man. Here's some money or whatever. And then we use whatever money we had left, and we flew to LA. So I flew to LA. And so we were crashing on her mom's couch. And I was trying to get a job or whatever, and I couldn't get a job. And I'm like, you know what, forget this. I gotta do my own thing. So I just left from there. And so my girlfriend at the time, her mom, and her stepdad were still living there. And that was another thing. Her stepdad was like there too. So it was like weird. Like, it's like, why is the man still here? And like, he can't get a job, It's like, man, what the heck? I was like, I can't get a job. It's like, why didn't he just do like this? And I'm like, I could do like a construction or whatever, or Costco or whatever, because I've done it. But like why start at the very bottom? You know what I mean? I was like, no, I like refuse to do it. Anyway, I left. I went to the VA. I was like, yo, and this is where it gets interesting. I was like, yo, I'm homeless. I don't have no place to go. They're like, really? They're like, what do you need? And I said, what do I need? And I was everything. Like, oh, you guys said the wrong thing. Yeah, and I was like, everything. All right, cool. I'm gonna set you up in this place for post 9/11. So like basically it's all younger dudes. Post 9/11 Afghanistan veterans. So like literally we just came back from Iraq or Afghanistan. Like literally, like everybody there was just in Iraq or in Afghanistan. Like it wasn't like a Vietnam type of thing. Like we still looked like we just got back.
Yeah. And
they do have one for Vietnam and stuff, and which is so dope. It's called Volunteers of America. If you guys are listening and you want to go check that out. It's called Volunteers of America. If you are a veteran struggling with something, go to the VA and they will help you get the assistance you need. Anyways, I go to Volunteers of America, like a dorm type of place. Nothing but free food, nothing but gym, 24 hours at a rec area. And the free food is just basic stuff like peanut butter and jelly and cereal and stuff and apples. And then that was just the regular food. But then like in breakfast and evening, they had like meals. But like lunch you fend for yourself, like sandwich. So I was there and then I was like, they're like, hey, listen, we know that you've been to Iraq and Afghanistan and you need, psychological help and stuff like that. So we're gonna put you through therapy and stuff, and we're gonna expedite your disability claim. But you need to go to these therapies. So I'm doing like meditation, hated it, like drawing and all these stupid classes. And I'm like, they're like, how's the meditation working? It's not. Why? I have voices. They won't shut up. No, sorry, it doesn't work for me. What works for you? Music. Okay. How about going on a walk? No, I don't like none of these people. Okay. All right. We still have to stay here for three months. Okay. So I'm staying there for 3 months and I'm just like irritated, disgruntled. I stay there for 3 months. Then I finally get my rating. And mind you, I get my rating and they back pay me. So I'm looking, yeah, imagine. So I'm getting back pay. I'm not gonna tell you how much it was, but I look like Flavor Flav, like, all this gold on me. You know what I mean? I look like Slick Rick or somebody. Like I look ridiculous.
That's a big clock.
Not really, but I just want to let you know, it's just like, I'm just trying to paint a picture of I had new clothes on, like very
Yeah.
expensive new clothes on, new shoes.
You went from nothing to a check.
Because I couldn't even afford getting a haircut. Like I looked like my hair looked like, you know, have you seen a used tennis ball? I looked like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, like golly, man, somebody give him a, you know what I mean, clip or something. I did not look clean. I did not look good. You know what I mean? I was clean because I took showers and stuff, but I just looked like I needed help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Sarah McLachlan, all that type of song playing. So I had dirty haircut, everything. Got my rating, man. I was ready for TV. I looked like P. Diddy or something, man. I was ready for TV. Anyway, so got my money. After I got my money and stuff like that, I started going to the school down the way. And then I got my rating, and then I also got help from the VA. They helped me get an apartment, my bed, and my refrigerator in Hollywood. So I have this apartment in Hollywood, nice, all set up, new bed, everything, and a whole bunch of money. And I have a whole bunch of money. And I'm going to recording school for production and learning how to, like, you know, make music. And I'm like, wow, this is a dream. This is what I was supposed to be doing. Because the thing was, the reason why I wasn't doing music and I was doing that like interview thing is because I didn't know where to start. But then I realized that I needed to go to school for production to learn like behind the scenes, because I've just realized behind the scenes is where you make the money. And so that's why people don't know, like, I'm able to record myself and do a whole bunch of stuff alone by myself. And then after that, after I graduated that, I was like, okay, you're still kind of young, but it's either you sacrifice, you know, your education or your youth. What do you want to do? Okay, and who has stayed in the game the longest? And they're doggone 50. Okay, P. Diddy and Master P and them. Okay, what do they have? Business. Okay, what don't you have? Business. What do you need to go to school for? A business. So I went to school for business, and I learned the behind the scenes, right? And how to register your songs and how to do all this crazy stuff. And that will play in a big role for later when I met Topher, but we'll talk about that in a second. Like, so like there's a whole business side of the thing. So I was in school, and then I was making songs, and mind you, I'm still exploring my sound, but I still keep reverting to like leather and rock clothes, like, and, you know, wearing these rock clothes and like listening to rock music. And I sit down in class one day, and we're doing like a, you know, introduce yourself type of thing. So there's this black guy, me, with all black leather, a glove with bullets on it. I have bullets and spikes all over my body. My hair is straight up, and I look like I'm in a band or something. There's a guy right next to me with dreadlocks. Doesn't look like he's in a band. Just looks like a regular, like, light-skinned black dude. And this is funny. This is very funny, and this is relevant while I'm explaining it like this. But teachers going around the tables and asking, who does what? Why do you do what? They go to that dude next to me. His name's Brian Spencer. That's my boy. Like, I'm forever grateful to him. And you think he like makes like rap beats or something, right? Like, what do you do? He's like, I make rap beats. I'm like, oh yeah, figures. He's all, but I put guitar on them. And I'm like, what? Like, I just like, he's like, yeah, like I was in a metal band. I actually like rock, but like everybody's doing trap these days. So I just added trap to it. So like, but my problem is I'm trying to find like a rapper who likes rock, and nobody knows how to rap over my rock beats. Like, the teacher goes, so what do you do? Like, are you in like a band or something? I'm like, no, I'm a rapper. Everybody's like, what? I'm a rapper. Like, what? I was like,
rock.
but I like rock music. Like, and we're sitting right next to each other. We don't know each other. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, but I like rock music. He's like, what? He's like, you guys make a song. I would say like a week later, we made this song called Star Spangled Banger.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time, the whole Kaepernick thing was coming out. And imagine, like, I'm in school and everybody knows I'm a vet. And they're like, what do you think about it as a black man? I was like, why are you asking me? You don't ask any white person what they think about it. They're like, well, because he kneeled and you're a veteran, so I know you're conflicted, which I am. I know you're conflicted. And how do you feel about him kneeling, you know, when you serve? And I was like, oh, man, I'm like, I'm tired of listening. I'm tired of hearing about this. I need to just make a song. So I'm like, let me in every song that I make, they're always like cerebral or they have like multiple meanings. And I was just like, okay, let me address this, but using the vibe of Star Spangled Banner, but over rock production, because when we're overseas, we listen to all types of music, especially rap and rock. So I said, let's put the rap and rock together, like how we did overseas, and let me rap over it, but do it in like a really hype way, like how like Run DMC and Aerosmith did back in the day. But I didn't want to do it like ignorant, so I did my research on the Star Spangled Banner, because Kaepernick kept saying Star Spangled Banner is racist, and so I go look it up, and then the third verse that they used to have was, I don't even know if you call it racist. I think it's more than that. I think it's really hateful, but it's basically saying no hireling or slave should be safe from the gloom of the grave. That's a line in the third verse, meaning whether you're a hired hand or you're a slave and you're Black, you should die. Every one of these Black folks are going to die, because he was mad because some of those people who were supposed to protect him when he got attacked went to Britain for their freedom, because they're like, forget this, I ain't gonna be a slave, I'd rather go to UK. So They went to UK, and they said, hey, if you join the Continental Marines, we'll give you your freedom. So technically he wrote about, Francis Scott Key, when he was writing that, he was writing about the first Black Marines. So I was like, oh, okay, now let's bring this full circle. Now a Black Marine is going to be writing about him. So I was like, so basically there's that layer of me writing about Francis Scott Key at the same time I'm addressing the racial things that I went through. It's also talking about Kaepernick at the same time, and also talking about police brutality at the same time. So it's called Star Spangled Banger, because I feel like that's my moniker. Like I'm a Star Spangled Banger. Like I was gangsterized as a patriotic Black man. So that's basically what I did. And then Apple Music featured Star Spangled Banger, got big, and I was like, oh, I can do this. I got my niche, and then I'll start making patriotic music. And I was the first, just saying, to make patriotic music.
And now they don't like you and nobody can hear it. Woohoo.
But no, that never got pulled. But I don't know if you guys got any questions.
No, now that links to the Patriot, right?
Yeah.
That gave way to Bryson.
Oh.
But Bryson was still working. This is crazy. Bryson Gray he said that song was like, oh, okay. That gave way to Bryson, which is kind of, that's a cool story. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. I didn't know. So Bryson now is working on his sound about his patriotic, like MAGA music, because he's the king of MAGA music, right? And so like me, I'm making these all just nonstop like rock bangers, and I'm getting very popular doing that. At the same time, I'm saying I can't live forever, quote unquote, in the music scene. So I have to make and do things that are gonna make me live longer than me actually performing the music. So I said, I need to find other genres and also find a team. So I was like networking with all these different people from other genres, like country, whatever, this and that. All veterans. And then I got involved with this program called Bunker Labs, which was opened by a Navy veteran. And he did this incubator program to where he allowed veterans to work on their business for 6 months, whatever they wanted to do. So I was like, I'm going to open up a record label with all military veterans, right? And I was like,
wait, is this Ninja
Punch? I'm gonna, yeah.
Ninja Punch comes in.
So this is Ninja Punch. Ninja Punch kicks in, and it's called Ninja Punch. And the reason why it's called Ninja Punch was specifically because non-judicial punishment goes on your record. The nickname for non-judicial punishment is Ninja Punch, and Ninja Punch goes on your record. So Ninja Punch.
Yep.
So you see what I'm saying? So that's why I tell you that story. I'm trying to turn a negative into a positive. I'm trying to turn a negative into a positive, saying, "Hey guys, you can mess up. there might be things on your record, but you can turn it into a positive. So I named my record label Ninja Punch. I named it after my like little mistake there. So I basically named my record label Ninja Punch after my non-judicial punishment. So I was like, there's only one problem. What's that, Raymond? You don't have nobody. Got it. Okay, you need to find people. Got it. Who do the same thing you do? Okay, harder. Okay, good as you do. Okay, the hardest thing, impossible. So like I'm like scourging the internet for people, right? And I'm looking, I was like, how can I do this, man? Because I'm in this incubator program for free. They're letting me use their office space for free. At night, like sometimes I might record in there or whatever, but it wasn't really big. I actually did like photo shoots and stuff with the other military veterans that I had. And I'm like, who is really dope? Who is really dope? So there's one guy that stuck with me for a long time. His name is Navy Jones. He goes by the Black Popeye. He's in the Navy and he raps like really New York style, really gritty. If you like that type of stuff, I just shared him on my page. I love that dude. I love him. And he's in the Navy. And I was like, okay, he's gonna stick with me for a long time. He's always been a cool dude. I was like, all right, I need some more. And then I was like, oh, okay, let me do a contest. So I do this contest and I'm like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best military rapper of them all? They're like, I hate to tell you, there's a guy named Topher. What? And like, I've been like looking. I'm looking up.
Heck, there isn't.
I said, there isn't. There better not be a dude named Topher. So I look on my social media. I'm like, there's a guy named Topher. Ah! And so I listened to him. I'm like, he don't rap like me though. He is dope though. And I was like, yeah. He was like, he's so dope. And then I was just like, okay, cool. He needs to be on my team though, because if you can't beat him, you better join him. If you can't beat him, join him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, bro, we should make a song together. He's like, all right. So we make this rock song called Let 'Em All Go. So if you get a chance, look it up. But we have been making rock songs and rap songs for a while. Unbeknownst to me, a little bit before then, D-Cure and Topher knew each other first. And they were making songs. They made like 1 or 2 songs. And then D-Cure wasn't rapping as fast when I met him. But he's the thing that I like about D-Cure is he's always been technically proficient. Like tick, tick, tick.
Yep.
You like if like I would put D-Cure versus a machine, like an actual rapping machine, and him and that machine would go back and forth, and that machine would probably explode because that power would run out. Like that's how technically proficient.
Yes, he hits the beat.
He's you can use D-Cure as a metronome, like tick, 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 tick. I was like, I need him on my team. Gosh. And then Topher, he's always had a knack for like hit making, like hit making. And then I've always been like the creative, like, like the brain, like that type of person, like, oh, we need to do this. And then, you know what I mean? They're like, that's crazy. And I'm like, let's do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to have we better have a patriotic concert. They're like, a patriotic concert? I'm like, yeah, it'll work, So things like that. I've always been that type of, guy, like a creative guy. I've always been like a creative guy. So I was like, okay, cool. We all have things. And then like when we come together, we're like Power Rangers or Voltron or something. And when we come together, we're perfect. Like, that's why, like, when somebody, like, people have tried to call us out, but they still haven't dropped the disc, by the way. That means you still haven't dropped the disc already. But like, I wouldn't want to battle us. We are absolutely perfect together. Like we don't have to say anything. We don't have to think. We don't have to see each other. We don't see each other's lyrics, put it that way. Like, we'll be like, Topher on the hook. You got this verse. You got this verse. I'll take the last verse. We good? Cool. That beat? Yeah, that beat. Okay, cool. When you need it? By tonight. Okay, tight deadline, but we got it. All right, see you tomorrow. All right, it's up. And then the song's up. Hey, you got the art? Yep. Axiom did it. Okay, absolutely. We're good. Bam. And then it's up. And people are like, wow, that's crazy. That must have been hours in the studio. No, we actually spent 2. Like, you know what I mean? Like literally. Like
you guys do it so quick.
Well,
like
and it almost has to be because it's so on point of whatever is actually happening in the world. And that's what's cool. Because it's like,
and that's how you know. And that's how you know. Like, you're like, literally, I just heard them break the news. There is no way they planned that. There's no way they planned it. And I love doing stuff like that because I sometimes I wish I wasn't me. And I'm saying that because I wish I was a spectator to receive the gifts. I know I sound like a military Kanye, but good if I do. But I wish I wasn't me so I could receive the gift that I'm giving so they could watch it, so I could watch it. It's like, wow, this is a treat. They just broke the news on this freedom convoy, and literally it's only been 8 hours and he wrote and filmed this video and it's up already. Wow. Like I want people, I wish I could see that. I wish I could see that. I wish but I will never, that's my burden. I will never see that. And I guess I'll have to live with that. But yeah, it's just, I love it. I love doing that with the guys because me and the guys, we have such good chemistry. And like, I'm like, yo, like as brothers, we'll give each other a hard time, but like pray for anybody who actually really does come at us. Like it would be bad. It would be very bad because we are perfect. We have everything you could imagine. Like we'll creatively, technically, and like with class and make it into a hit. Like all of us, that's what we do. So it's just like, why would you want to mess with Space Force? It's just so crazy. And that's why I came up with the name Space Force, because I've always thought we were ahead, because when we were trying to come up with the name in the news was Space Force. And I was like, why don't we name ourselves Space Force? I don't know if Topher or DQ told you that, but
No.
But that's what happened. That's why we're named Space Force, because it was a headline.
And then you guys have a community that's untouchable. Like the way you interact, like all of you interact, but you specifically when it comes to mental health, and even your podcast, Alive Every Day, and how you've managed to change the stigma around mental health because it's such a taboo topic. And if we can go into, for those who haven't listened to our first episode with Space Force, I would suggest going back and listening to that. But then if we can go into currently and your podcast and really the inspiration behind that, because so many people don't see the community part of what you guys have and that being untouchable, and how you tie it to your music, to entrepreneurship with the community, and you're relating to normal people. You've given us an opportunity to share our podcast with your platform. So you're literally being a voice for the voiceless, and that community continues to grow. And you're the king of connections, and really just planting those seeds and being like, here you go. So if we can go into the inspiration behind your podcast, even though you were doing this prior, if you can just share why you decided to turn it into a podcast.
Yeah, so basically, after I got back and doing music, and me and Topher and DQ started being successful, getting the awards and all that type of stuff, billboards and stuff like that, I've always wanted to do something for, the veterans and stuff like that, but I didn't know how. And so it became something that was my mission. And I was like, how can I really do something to where I feel the fulfillment? And also, like, there's a lot of people out there like, yo, what do you do? And what are you doing for the veterans, this and that? And there's always these people with these questions. So one, I wanted to shut them up, to be honest. I have to be frank. I wanted to shut them up. Like, I do a lot of stuff, but it's kind of like, if people don't see it, they think you're not doing anything. Right. And it's not like now at this point in time, and now at this moment, I don't necessarily do it for them. I do it for the people who are tuning in. But a lot of people think you're not doing nothing. So I was like, wait a minute, what's not doing nothing? And I was like, push-ups is not doing nothing. It's not doing nothing, because my brother's in physical fitness. I know a lot of other people in physical fitness. I do push-ups. I've done push-ups over and over again. I do them all the time. I just don't film them. It's just because it's ridiculous for me to do push-ups and not help or call a buddy and say, hey, how are you doing? So I was like, push-ups are stupid. So in one of my raps, I held up a sign, and I was acting like I was homeless, and I held up a sign saying push-ups aren't going to stop their death. And I did that in a music video. It didn't really get no shine. Nobody noticed it. But then I took the screen grab. I posted that to social media. That got everybody's attention and got everybody mad. How are you going to say push-ups aren't helping? I was like, they're not. Why are you talking to me? You should talk to your buddy right now. Don't talk to me. Call them. Don't talk to me. If you're mad, good. Use all that energy. Talk to your buddy. Don't talk to me. You could hate me, you can unfollow me, talk to your buddy if you really care about his life. Do that. And I kept on saying it over and over and over again. And this is only, it's about to be 3 years.
Wow.
And I was like, over and over and over again. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to go live every day for 22 minutes at 10 a.m. PST. So I kept on doing it every day. It's about to be 10 years. Not 10 years. Seemed like it's about to be 2 years. And now I have not only veterans, but I have anybody who cares about mental health coming in and chiming in. And I love the community because they care about connection. They care about connections. They care about community. They care about positivity. They care about love. And it's just a beautiful thing. I love it all. I want them all to come together and to connect and enjoy each other's company and then break off and do their own thing. You know, I go live on social media. I go live on social media because I know I can grab the audio and post it up on Anchor and make my own podcast and do the Alive Everyday podcast. And I wanted to show people like I can be a recording artist and I can still get things done quickly, fastly. I don't even know if that's a word. It doesn't matter. Fastly and just get things done and efficiently and consistently every single day. And I've been doing it. I've been uploading all of the podcasts that if you want to hear it, you can hear it on Spotify. And also what I do for the artists that are on my podcast, I also upload the music with it. And when I upload the music with it, they get promotion and they also get streams with it. So it's just been a thing for me that helps keep me sane because it is therapy for me, but it also is therapy for anybody who wants to chime in, and it keeps everybody grounded, and I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And there's people of all backgrounds, and you're not one to turn anyone down. And so that community continues to grow. I know that we've connected with so many people from your guys' community. So we're always grateful for that. Going into, because you're constantly making music, and as DK says, you're the you're the new him, and you just are a machine. You never know when you're going to drop something new. So by the time this podcast drops, you'll probably have an album out.
Yeah, I will. If you're listening to this podcast right now, I have a rock album out called Rage Against the Marine.
There you go.
So
and that's a nod to Rage Against the Machine and all the other kind of like protest music. But also it's a kind of like, with me, there's always a whole bunch of meanings, but it's also saying that I feel like things are coming at me from every angle and I have to deal with it and all the emotion and all the anger and then turn it into something good. And then, let it come out in a positive manner, and break the cycle. So if you're listening right now, you're listening to the time where I already announced the Rage Against Marine album, and you probably have listened to some of the songs in the gym and probably you have been working out to it. So yeah, thank you for that little plug there.
Going back into you constantly creating and being ahead of the whole entertainment industry and creating the culture shift. And we were talking with DK about it, is you guys don't really step back and celebrate your success because you're constantly producing and ahead of everything. So going off of that, how does it feel knowing you're creating culture and not only shifting it, but you're inspiring millions, especially in the times we're in right now?
To actually create culture, to actually see that we're inspiring people, we're motivating people, we're giving people a source of comfort, and we're consoling them, is a great, beautiful thing. I love it. I want to always do something that actually causes an action. Whatever it is, I don't want people to feel indifferent. I'd rather somebody to hate it or love it. Like, I would rather that than somebody be indifferent. I want you to feel something from it. If people come to my page and they're like, oh my gosh, I hate the last song that you did. And they say, oh, I don't like it because I'm on this side and you're on this side, or what you said really struck a chord with me. That means what I did actually had an effect, and I actually love that. And it told you something about yourself, or about me, or about somebody you know. So I love it, and also vice versa on the good part about it. You know what I mean? It could be a good side about it. It could be, you know, you love the fact that I said this and it reminded you of an experience that you've had. I'm with that too. So it feels really good. But like how you're saying, like DCure and Topher and Space Force, like we don't have time to like really celebrate, because I feel like I can only speak for myself. I don't want to celebrate too much because I don't want to get too full of myself. I want to keep my sleeves rolled up. I don't want to worry about what anybody else is doing. Um, yeah, I'll have fun here and there. We'll have little friendly battles or whatever. But if I worry about what you're doing, then I'm not doing what I should be doing. Usually people get jealous, and usually people hate when they don't have what someone else has. Because if you think about it, look at it like this way, we can make an analogy. Do you see rich people hating on rich people? No. I see rich people buying rich people other things. I see things like that. I don't see rich people hating on poor people. Why? Why is that? It's because they're not worrying about you. They're
Right.
worrying about how they can get richer, or how they can keep their money, or how they can keep on continuously create more money for future generations and keep on creating this generational wealth. They aren't worrying about you. So why should I stop and worry about somebody else when there's not a benefit to it? And it would take that energy and that time away from somebody who really needs it. What if by me taking my time away from my crafts, it actually takes time away from time I could be mentoring or helping somebody else who needs my help, or creating a song that might save somebody else's life. So that's why we don't really stop and smell the roses, so to speak. Yeah, we'll take a little here and there time or whatever, maybe on the live, or if we're having a downtime on a day off, or on a weekend. We don't really take days off, but maybe on a weekend or something. But other than that, we do appreciate it. So I don't want people to get it twisted. We absolutely appreciate it, but we know lots of work needs to be done, and we keep on creating work and art because we know that people need it, and that's where we're needed at this time. There might be somebody who's needed at the construction site to build a house, right? There might be somebody who's needed in Florida on a golf course, right? So there might be somebody who's needed at McDonald's,
Yep.
or there might be somebody who's needed at a car wash, because there's plenty of cars that are dirty that need to be washed. There's stuff like that. There's lots of jobs that need to be created and done. So I have to do my job, and my job is to create art using the medium which I use, and that's music.
Going off of that, if we can go into one of our personal favorites with Alexandra Kutcher, Armor of God. If we can go into the message and inspiration behind that song, and a little bit into the meaning of Do All Devil Dogs Go to Heaven?
Oh, I love oh, you're talking about Armor of God? Okay.
Yeah, let's do Armor of God first.
Okay. So Armor of God, that came about because I wanted to collaborate with Alex, and I just love her vibe. And I actually met her through TikTok. I was on TikTok and I was going live, and she was like, hey, like, I sing. And I said, okay. I was like, you want to come on my live? She's like, yeah. So she gets on my live. She's like, I sing. I was like, yeah, I heard you. She's like, but I can do it right now. I said, wow. And she sang right now. And I was like, okay, you can sing. Let's work. I said, send me something today. She sent me something today. It was today. And then we made the song initially. No, she sang the hook, I think, first, and off the idea that I gave her. Then I rapped to it, and she's like, it's not right. She's like, let's start over. I said, okay. She's like, you rap first. I said, okay. And I rap first. Oh, you know what? I don't think it had my rap on it yet. She said it's not right because she just felt it wasn't right. And then I said, okay. I said, let me just rap over the instrumental. I rapped with the instrumental, and then I sent it back to her. She sang on it, and she said, it would be dope if you do the prayer at it'd be dope if you do a scripture at the beginning.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite part of the
Favorite
song.
part.
Like, I love it. I mean, I love all of it, but that's my favorite.
She's like, so she gave me the idea with the scripture. And then, so like, I did everything freestyle. So I only did that one time. Everything's one time all the way through. And then, so then she went back and then she did the like little harmonies and stuff behind my rap. And then, because I always wanted to talk about the story of Armor of God, because I talk about it a lot in my music here and there, but also a lot of people don't know, it's not like common knowledge. So a lot of guys are afforded an opportunity to have a pocket Bible while they're overseas, because we're always conflicted about the difference between killing and murdering. So imagine you're set out there overseas to neutralize the enemy, and it's like, am I killing him or am I murdering him? So you're like, what do I do? And then so it's like, hey, you guys keep your faith, all that, and here's some pocket Bibles. So the pocket Bible was about this big, right? About the size of your phone call. I mean, not phone call. The pocket Bible is the size of your phone. So the pocket Bible is called the pocket Bible because it fits right in your chest pocket, right here on your breast pocket. So there's always a lump right here on your breast pocket, right in front of your heart. Then you put your pocket Bible there, or you could put it in your cargo pants, but you don't want to do that. But I put mine right here over my chest, right over my heart. Then I put on my bulletproof vest, right? So this is all I'm talking about in Armor of God. I'm talking about my pocket Bible inside of my bulletproof vest. This is what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm talking about in music. I wanted to say something, so I'm talking about that. And I'm talking about the duality that I had to face out there of trying to do God's work and doing Uncle Sam's work at the same time. So it's like, how do I keep that faith? How do I keep that spirituality? How do I keep praying when people are praying on me? So when I said pray, I said
B or A.
B, yeah, it's B. Well, it was both. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why I said, praying God, can you keep God in this devil dog? You know what I mean? Like, so like that's why that's the bridge, because it's like I was doing all of that, you know. That's why I was talking, hey, I was out there patrols and stuff, but then that's why you hear that soft tone of, I was praying God, can you keep God in this devil dog? You know what I mean? I don't want to do anything crazy, but they're really trying to aim after me. So it's either me or them. What am I going to do? And like, all I know to do is to take them out. So that's what Armor of God was. And so I wanted to also soften it up to the point where, you know, it could be palatable for like an R&B audience. So that's why Alex came in and she did the, can you keep God in this devil dog? Like, you know, with it, can you keep God in this devil dog? And I loved it. Because it was like almost like she's begging and she's pleading as well. But yeah,
I love that song.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful song, and I love making songs to where I want to go back to it. I want to make songs to where, yo, put that on the jukebox for 20 years from now. 20 years from now, I want somebody to be like, yo, put on Armor of God. I don't want people to be like, yeah, could take that off.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want. So that's what I think. And you know, me and Alex did some more songs. That's all I have to say.
Probably be dropped by the time this goes out.
It won't be. That will be in March.
Oh, okay. Almost. It'll almost be.
It'll be another album. He's like, I'll drop something else.
Or just it's safe to say now because I beat everybody already, but I'm dropping an album every month. But that was the point. I didn't tell nobody that in January because I wanted to beat everybody. So no one can actually do it because I actually did it. So I'm dropping an album every month. On top of all the features, and I'm probably the most featured on Topher's and Decures. I don't know if you saw the features. You guys, and by now you guys heard Enough is Enough. So by the time of this broadcast, you've heard Enough is Enough. But and that is, I think that's that is the one. Topher has been raving about it. His nephew has been raving about it because Enough is Enough is It's
The
great.
weight of the world right now. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
And if you
So,
haven't heard it, go buy it on iTunes.
right
on
now.
Topher's album right now, 222, which just dropped.
We'll drop.
It will
tomorrow.
drop on 222.
Yes.
22.
So if you're listening to it, it dropped 6 days ago.
Yes. You're
We're in
late.
the future,
We're in
baby.
the future.
Yeah, that's how it is. We're too quick, we're too fast.
We're just that good.
And then do all devil dogs go to heaven? Man, I love this one because I want to make music just like that. I always want to, like, I want to make music because I love having like my own thing, my own niche. Like nobody can just do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just make all devil dogs go to heaven. You can't just make Armor of God. Like, it was like literally catered. Me and Alex were going back and forth. Do all devil dogs go to heaven? That's something I was actually thinking about. So it's like, do all devil dogs go to heaven is actually like almost kind of like a sequel of Armor of God, almost kind of, because I'm kind of like still asking that question, you know. But I always like to do stuff that has multiple layers. So I was like, do all dogs go to heaven? And I was like, oh, what would be cool if I could do all devil dogs go to heaven? So I always want to have something where you can see where there's a relation, and then also, it's fun still, but also like it'll be catchy, because you see, wait a minute, you said devil dogs? What does that mean?
Right?
Devil in heaven? What? Huh? There's a juxtaposition. But what it's saying is like, regardless of what you've done, are you able to be saved? You know what I mean? So because you've done a lot of saving, but the saving you've done has cost you your like spirituality and morality and stuff like that, because you feel like you've done so many things. And it's crazy because you feel like you've saved others, but who's going to save you? So that's the whole vibe of that. Do all devil dogs go to heaven? Yeah, that's what it's like. I've been down, I messed up. You know what I mean? So like, it's like, I've been down, I messed up. Do all devil dogs go to heaven? But I want to make music like that, like music, like just really heartfelt music. That's guitar based, because like you guys are gonna see a lot of stuff on my guitar. Wink, wink. That's next. So by now you should see it already, but you're gonna see a lot of stuff on my guitar, because I'm always just trying to push next level and stuff like that. I don't want to just be one note. I want to be a full like musician to the T, and I won't ever be where I want to be, because I'm an artist, and all artists will never be satisfied. But like I want people of all ages, all ranges to be like, wow, this is just great music. We're not even thinking about the actual type of music. We're thinking about the actual music,
Well, too, and you're so versatile. You don't keep yourself contained in a box. So you've touched lately the Latin side. You've touched the rock side. You've done the politics. You're touching art.
Country.
You've touched R&B. You've literally country.
and punk.
Little punk rocker.
No, punk rock's gonna be. If you're listening right now, punk rock is on Rage Against the Marine.
Awesome. Look forward to that. So
Yeah.
going off of that and your versatility, what inspires you, especially like your mindset and your creative process? I know like that is one thing that I've enjoyed watching in Space Force in general, but you like bring a whole nother animal to all of it. When it comes to one, you're not writing, you're straight up freestyling. But then even just like you create your own videos. I don't think people realize, like, I've seen the entertainment side and like behind the scenes side. So to see like your process and how quick you do it is mind blown, like straight up mind blown. And then to watch how like you guys aren't even recording in the same studios and you're connecting with people all over the globe. So when it comes to your creative process, how do you go about that? Because you're a whole nother level.
All I have to say is like, after I'm Raymond, and let me explain to you what Raymond means. Raymond means be a kid. So like like, because kids don't care. If you notice how kids create and kids do things, they'll be like, splash, splash, that's beautiful, right, mommy? Until somebody says it's not, which is probably the most messed up thing anybody could ever do to a kid. So they're like, splash, splash, isn't it beautiful, mommy? Yes, honey, da, da, da. I love the way you did this. But the reason why most people don't know how to create or be free is because somebody told them they couldn't, which is like probably the most sad thing ever. And like, when I think about the reason why I haven't done certain things, it's because somebody either told me I couldn't, or I was thinking, oh, I can't do that, that's too embarrassing, or I'm too grown for that, or this or that. And that is the worst thing that anybody can ever tell anyone. Like literally, if you think somebody can do anything, like, let them do anything, you know, opposed to just holding them back. You know, obviously within the realm of, you know, being respectful and not hurting nobody.
Legal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you
Mhm.
know, there's certain things, it's like, don't hurt nobody. But when I create, I think like a kid. I just like lose it. I'll dance. I'll beat on the wall. I'll make voices. I'll like make sounds. Like, to me, it's not like, music to me isn't like a one thing. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm singing or rapping. It's like whatever, like singing, rapping, making a sound, beatboxing, whatever. That is just one of the tools to construct this song. You know what I mean? And a flavor, you know, I mean, when you make a dish, you don't use one flavor. You know what I'm saying? You use multiple seasonings on your dish to create a certain type of flavor with different dimensions. So why, when we make a song, why would we use one flow? Why would we only sing? Why would we only rap? Why would we only, you know, why would we not hum? Why would we not only, you know, why would we not beatbox or whatever? Why would we not put a sample? Like, I like to sample. I'll make a sound and then I'll sample that sound again. Like, you know what I mean? Or sometimes it's knowing when to shut up. Sometimes you just got to be quiet and be like, let the thing do whatever it's supposed to do. You know? So I feel like the thing that drives me to creation would specifically be my imagination and that little kid inside me. His name's Raymond. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do an album called Raymond, but it's just gonna be like straight up, just like that kid. And I'm just so happy. Like, he's like, yo, like, screw everybody else. Like, they suck. Like, you're it. You know what I mean? Tell them you're the best. Okay, I'll tell them. You know what I mean?
Good.
Like, things like,
You need to hear that.
Yeah.
Because that's what the kids need to hear. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of all this weak music. You know, people go, how you say you the best and this and that? Because I am. Like, why are you telling the kid they're okay? Like, why are you giving them a participation ribbon? No, actually, that wasn't as good as you can do. You are the best at what you do, but mommy knows you can do better because the other painting you did this. Let's go there. Let's do that. Oh, why did Johnny win the trophy? Oh, because he practiced more. You can do it too. All we have to do, let's get you more hours in the batting cage and you'll get the trophy too. Like,
or like my son's baseball team, the other team cheated. You know, however you win.
But that's what I'm saying. Explain those things to those individuals. Like, why, you know, there's people who cheat, whatever, this and that. But at the end of the day, if you know you did your best and you are the best, that's how it goes. But like, my creative process is sporadic. Sometimes if I for 1 second have an inkling somebody is anywhere close to my style, I'll switch it again. Like, you won't know. Because I don't want, and it's a benefit to you guys who are listening, because I want you to be like, yo, I don't even know what I'm gonna get. Like, I want you guys to just be like, yo, this is crazy. Like, enough is enough. Becky, I'm telling you, enough is enough. You won't, like, it was just like, and I did that. I think I did that in under 2 hours, or freestyle in under 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but even your social media stuff, like when you were taking the cadence and then someone else came in and added some, and then someone else came, like, I found myself like, all right, when you're going to start singing, like, let's go. And then it's like, then you do something, it's like, come on. Like, figure. And so you really you do a very good job. And again, I know you went to school, but you do a very good job at hooking people to be like, oh, it's coming this day. Oh, he's got another post up. What is it? Son of a, like, come on.
Marketing king.
Give me the next one.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's all dope. And we just finished another one, by the way. So
Nice.
whenever DCure drops it, but we just finished another cadence. So there's more cadence raps coming out
Those are
because
cool.
I love them. And this is with a female singing the cadence this time. So
Oh, nice.
so it'll be dope. And I just love just doing different stuff, like, because that's how kids create, right? They'll just beat on the table, they'll
Mhm.
draw, they'll paint on they'll paint on the wall. You can't paint on the wall. Why? You understand what I mean? Like, they'll say,
Mhm.
why can't I paint on the wall?
You're messing up my wall. Knock it off.
So my daughter, her name's Genre, right? And
Pretty name.
her mom lets her draw on the wall.
So pretty.
Her mom lets her draw on the wall. So she outside in the hallway, there's nothing but anime drawn on the wall. Because why can't they draw on the wall?
Because it's my house.
Why-
Put it on the wall.
What? No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Give 'em a
And
chalk
I
wall.
I
you know
love
what?
it.
You're not making a point here. Like,
No,
Yeah.
totally. I love it though, because I mean, even if that's not your medium is the wall, but yeah, let them go. The more you do it, the better you get. Absolutely.
and then later they're gonna be like, oh, my mom actually let me draw on the wall. Now I'm literally drawing murals on this big
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I just bought my daughter a computer, because she ran the other one ragged, so she could do. She has a manga comic about to drop, so she's 32 pages in, and she also does anime. And I was like, yo, how do we do this? And I love to teach people how to fish. And I was like, what do you need? She's like, I need a new computer. I was like, what do you want? She's like, well, I actually want to make one. I said, really? I said, you're gonna do it? She's like, yeah. And then so I bought her so she built it.
That's
She
cool.
she built it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we need to empower that child. So me, how do I create? I empower the child in me, inside of me.
Love
So
it.
you need to empower that child to create, and don't worry about what anybody else says. Like, if I see something that's dope, that's why, like, I'll see something in the background. I see that Stand By Survivor is back there in the background that you made, in the frame with the blue and the red roses and
In
the blue rose
Bridget's image. Mhm.
in Bridget's room, and the S by S. And I love it. It's beautiful because it's, as a 3D thing, and it's just like, wow, like how much talent that takes. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know where you realize that you could do that, but it's a beautiful thing, that like Shadowbox thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I just love people expressing their childlike artistry, because I feel like childlike artistry is the best,
Mhm.
because it's not perfect. It's rough around the edges, but it's like, wow, like, why did you do that? Oh, because I wanted to. Why is that man purple? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So that's fun. It's fun. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes when I see something, I'm just like, when something's too perfect for me, I don't like it. I actually run away from it. I like, it's like, there's something wrong with you. Like,
We're
I
actually,
like,
oh, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
okay.
I was gonna say, we're actually doing something like that with my son. My older son is 13, and I took him out of school for this year, and we're homeschooling him because, well,
Yeah.
it's a long story and
Tough.
blah, blah, blah. But one of the things I wanted to do with him was this, like, second half of the year, I wanted to write a book with him. I've never written a book. I have no idea how to write a book. I've done like nothing about nothing. But one of the things that had come out earlier in the year was the idea of being angry. And he's like, I'm just angry. And I said, but what does that mean? Are you overwhelmed? Are you frustrated? Are you sad? Are you hungry? Like, all these things. What does that mean? And so I said, we should totally write a book about that and make it like for the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade age. And so he's got this Minecraft, stuffed Minecraft fox that he loves. And I was like, that's what we're going to do. His name is Diver. He's a fox. We're going to draw him, and his mom is going to talk to him about all these things that blah, 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 blah.
Oh, beautiful.
And so, but none of us can draw. And I was like, but maybe let's just try. Like, who knows what it's going to look like and what it's going to be and where it'll come from and whatever. So we're all going to take a stab at it and see what happens. But he's actually really excited about it. And so he started his outline, and we talked about the scenarios and the story and what it's all going to be. And so by the time summer comes, we're going to have a book Even if all it is printed and put on his shelf, that's what we're going to do. Because I was like, we're going to do something together.
It's beautiful. I love it. And what is drawing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Copying
What is
off the
drawing?
computer. No.
What is drawing? What is good? What's a book? What is how to write a book? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
there's all these social constructs and people telling you how to do things. Is it really? It could align with society, but there's a lot of people who say all these things, and it's like, why? And then you have to consider the source. Why are they saying that? Why are you telling me that my drawing isn't a drawing?
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm gonna let him go with it because I know my instinct is to be like, do we do that? Just because, again, that's how I have been ingrained and whatever. But really trying hard to be like, no, let's just go with it. Like, let's just see what happens, and because that'll just help his self-esteem too.
I can't wait to see it.
Well, I'll send you. You'll have the other copy.
Sign it for me.
You're muted. Bridget, you're muted.
You're muted, Bridget.
My bad.
There you go. I was
So,
like, no, stop.
no. So before we head and wrap up, want to touch on, you credit majority of your success to your mom and the values of how she raised you and your siblings. And one of the things that has always stuck out, not only when you were over seasoned, the little kid story that you shared with the water, but the other thing that has always stuck out was the whole victim mentality and how your mindset and how you shifted that, even with your mom and you growing up through poverty and your childhood. If you can share, just because I love the way that you talk about the things that your mom and how she talked to you guys when it came to saying that you are a king, you are a queen, and I'll let you take it from there because you explained it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, Bridget. Well, yeah, my mom has been very instrumental in raising us. There's 5 of us. I'm the oldest, and she always had a knack of just inspiring us in any situation. It could be at the poorest, the lowest times. I remember a lot of times, we had to choose whether water or lights. And, if you like to stay clean, you know which one we picked. It was not lights. So we had to do homework, under candlelight, things like that. Still had to get those things done. There's times where we had to borrow water from neighbors' hose to flush the toilet, things like that. But all in all, she always inspired us and told us, hey, like, even though we're going through these situations, this is just a fishbowl situation, and you're bigger than that. You're a king, you're a queen, and you could always be bigger, do bigger things. You're destined for greatness. You're great. She calls us king and queen to these days. Because I have a sister and 4 brothers. I mean, a sister and 3 brothers. And because she did that, because she did that, I know that all of us were successful. Because we, like, literally every single chip was against us. Neighborhood kids would make fun of us, the way we looked and things like that. But we always stayed steadfast and always stayed focused and realized that we can do great things. It doesn't matter. All we need to do is have a good head on our shoulders and then figure out how to get the resources, and we can make it happen. So I credit my mom big time, for all of our success. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I'm where I'm at, recording artist. My other brother, he is a doctor. My sister, she's running her warehouse, the whole warehouse. She's the boss. My other brother, physical trainer, coach. You might have seen him. He stops by my page a lot. We're the closest. And then I have a young brother who's basically, a teenager, and he just works and goes to school and stuff. But if it wasn't for those great examples and that motivation and that inspiration from my mom, like, I wouldn't be here, like at the level I'm at, because she kind of like supercharged it. I've always felt like there's always been like a spark inside me, because I always looked around. I'm like, there has to be more than this. All these people are just standing around. No, I know I'm great. Y'all can be okay if y'all want. Y'all could be mediocre if y'all want. I don't know if you guys ever seen, for real. Like, I just don't. I'm like, why would I be average with something? If I'm gonna be like, hey, good morning, let's have an average day. If I'm going to do that, then I might as well just, is there somebody else I might as well die or something, because I don't want to take up precious air and space, especially because there's people overseas, going back to that water situation with the kid who wanted water, there's people overseas who would die to have the situation. They'll give an arm and a leg to have the situation. And what are we going to do? Squander it? I see a lot of immigrants come here. There's a lot of, like how you guys talk about, the survivors and stuff. They want these situations. They want to be able to record when they want to record. They want to be able to eat, live, breathe, dance, play, all the natural things that we take for granted. They want to be able to do these things. And so I realize that I can't take these things for granted, and I have to move better and inspire other individuals to do so as well. So my mom is a great inspiration to me, and she works vicariously through me and everything that I do. So I'm grateful to her. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for the listeners. I'm grateful to all the fans. I'm grateful to this huge community, and I'm just so thankful, and I appreciate you and everybody who was listening and having me.
Thank you.
There we go. I'm mute. I'll get this button. We appreciate that. And even working with you and all of Space Force, I know I've said it on every single podcast with the guys, is most people do not get to see, especially from human trafficking side, when we put out messages about working with certain people and connecting. When we reached out to Space Force and DCare originally, and when we talk about human trafficking, people see that and they turn a blind eye to it. They don't want to, that's something that they won't touch, and they want to stand kind of playing in the middle. And what I love about you guys is there's no fear. Like I told DCare, I think people often forget that you guys were built for this. And one thing that I'll always love and respect with Space Force is when we mention human trafficking, out of every single person, minus Kill Will, you guys were the only ones who originally, actually still till this day, did not say, what are your numbers? What's your following? And just seeing human trafficking. We see the blue check marks. We see people in our DMs. We see them still till this day watching our stories, or like, oh, they just throw you off to an email. You guys are literally the only ones that we constantly talk to, that support us, that will repost us, and do not shy away from any topic. So I will always love and respect Space Force and the community that they bring, because again, it ties back to being real people and genuineness, and just standing on the truth, and you model and embody everything that you guys are doing across all platforms.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's not hard. It's like easy for us, because it's crazy. I can like talk for us because we're like a three-headed monster. But it's like, it's like easy for us. It's like, I don't know. It's weird when people don't. I'm like, I thought, because it's like, I thought everybody's supposed to be, a strong man, alpha, stand up for what you believe in. And it just gotten so weird lately. I'm just like, yo, like, if you see somebody who needs help, the survivors, the people who've been trafficked, and you can help some way or do something, why not do it? What are you scared of? Somebody's not going to like you. It's going to take away from your funds or something. Okay, so it takes away your funds, or somebody's not going to like you. Is that what you care about? Because that's not us. We don't care about that. We care about the message. We care about saving people. We care about the purpose. But there's a lot of people out there who don't, and that's not my business or whatever. That's how they are. And I just want to move forward and do something that's going to create an impact and be important. And if you're like, oh, at the end of your life, you're like, oh, I didn't really do anything important, I just played it safe and made a whole bunch of money. Like, I mean, that sounds like a horrible life to me. You know what I mean? Because you can always make more money. You can't remake relationships. You know what I mean? When you ruin things like that. So Like even when you like, I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, and what did I? Oh, I bought another outfit. I bought another outfit. I was like, I'm glad I bought another outfit. Not like I needed it, but I bought another outfit. Why? Because you know what? Oh, let me tell you this. This is crazy. I actually bought another outfit and was thinking, if I die, I hope I spend enough money. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Mhm.
I hope I'm not so tied to my money and too materialistic that I'm too scared to spend it. And I actually spend enough money and enjoy my life and spend time with people and things like that.
Yeah.
I hope I
Bless
spend
yourself and
enough
bless
money.
others.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, you know, it's kind of like that parable about the two brothers that have the money and one buries it and
Yeah.
one spends it, you know, and then you're rewarded if, if you spend it, and it may not be rewarded how you feel, but I feel like you're rewarded if you do spend that time or do stick your neck out. It may not be rewarded right then, but some people is going to notice, you know.
Absolutely.
And you shouldn't do it to be noticed or anything, but I just feel like um it just comes natural to us. We just feel like as a man, we have a responsibility. I mean, as men, Space Force, we have a responsibility to stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves and do the best that we can and use our medium, our voice, even if it's the muscle, even if we have to show up, you know, we'll do that too. Because we really care about these causes. We really in the streets. We really want to have a showing. It's not just for show. We like everything that we say in music, we believe it. Like, you know what I mean? Like us, we'll get together. We're like, did they really believe what they just said? Like, you know what I mean? Did they really
Yeah.
believe what they just said? Like everything we say, it's a fact. Like I like the fact that you're like, yo, I really related to that song. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Because me and Alex really believe that. Me and Space Force really believe that.
Right.
I like that. I
Someone's
like
not
that
telling
vibe.
you. Mhm.
Yeah, nobody's telling us nothing.
Mhm.
And that's why I said we like to make the music so catered. So when you hear it, there's no doubt. You're like, oh, it couldn't be a lie because this
Right.
just happened, and or I know Ray, or I know Topher, I know DQ, like he just told me this, or I know he's going through this, or I know they're going through that, or she's going through that. So it's crazy because like when you bring it up and you're like, oh, like what makes you so apt to help? It's like, huh? I don't understand it. Like I'm like, why isn't more people helping?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why should that be a question? And why are people not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
So going on a lighter note and having some fun because you're always making music. So when you're not making music, what do you do for fun other than snacking? So you can add into your favorite snacks because you always have food and all that in your
Yeah,
video.
my red vines and I watch other videos. I watch scary movies. Um I sometimes I'll work out. Um I straighten my beard. I
How long is it then?
Becky's like, wait,
it's
what?
it's like
Nobody's,
it's like 4.5 inches. Like if I straight like right here, see,
if you're like
down
pulling,
there.
okay.
So like when I straighten it, it's like down here. It looks like if you look at what one of my old podcasts, I straightened it one time and I looked at it, I said, wow, like it's like super long. Like if I spend time like really straightening it, I just do like simple stuff. I try to, oh, my number one pastime is staying out of trouble.
That's a good thing to have.
I like to just hang with my, you know what I mean? Just be by myself and stuff like that. Like,
True.
cause sometimes you have to like be by yourself and like love yourself for you to like love somebody else. You know what I mean? And then I go shopping. I go
Yes.
shopping. So
Do you
like,
go shopping like, so my mom is one to go shopping just to look, and if she happens to find something, she will, but she really just likes the pastime of looking.
mhm.
Is that how you shop, or do you all, are you like for sure
No,
going?
no. Okay, let me tell you, I'm a purpose person. So
Mhm.
if I go, I'm like, I want a sweatsuit. Like I will go, I want a sweatsuit. I don't know which one, but I want a sweatsuit.
Yep.
So when I was in Arizona, I went to go get a sweatsuit. So that's that white sweatsuit that you see in Crack History Month. which everybody was like, oh my gosh, I was so nervous that the meatball was gonna fall on it. Because I'm holding a big meatball dipped in marinara sauce,
With
and I'm
Parmesan.
wearing with Parmesan, and I'm wearing a white jumpsuit. I mean a white sweatsuit, and it's like right there. And that's that was another thing I wanted people to be nervous about, like that. Like I love
Yeah.
I love creating music and creating art to where somebody's looking at it and they're like, wow, they want look at it at a different time and they're like, wow, I didn't know he did that and that. And then when he started talking about this, there was the red light. Like there's reasons why I put certain lights and why I was in certain things. And like if you just look at you can cut off Crack History Month, you can cut off the sound and just like look at the visuals. I want you to try that. Look at the visuals and look at it, and you'll see there are certain shapes, lights, and colors in there for specific reasons at specific times. Like I did that on purpose.
Cool.
Like certain things.
And
So,
you shot it all by yourself.
and I shot it all by myself. I bought this like little tripod. It's like a ring light, like you have. I know you have one, Becky, because I saw that little circle.
Oh yeah, it's right here. It's coming in. Yeah.
I see that circle. It was in your eyeball. I saw a circle in your eyeball.
Oh yeah.
I saw the circle in your eyeball, and so I knew you had it. But yeah, I had the same thing, but mine changes colors and stuff. Do you have that one? The one that we press the button and does a whole bunch of.
No, mine only has 3 like shades of white.
Yeah, mine has a thing to where it was a new one the other day. I was in Arizona, and you press it, and they could do like a police light, all types of stuff. They do red and blue, go woo woo woo. They do something like that too. It's cool. But I shot it by myself, and I wanted to do that because I wanted to make something that would be like art. Like I like to make it like a slow burn type of thing and be like, wait, did he make a song about, wait a minute, hold on. There's more in here. Let's unpack this. Like even if you look at a Space Force or Let's Go Brandon video, like we pour milk. I don't know if you saw that one, and we poured milk down, and it's like from like if it was getting milk on you. Like there's a whole bunch of like cool little things.
The angle.
The angle, there's like and Topher actually poured milk on his phone. Like literally, that's his phone. He poured milk on his phone. But he's like, I have an Android, so it'll last. And then he went, I was like, okay.
Good luck.
And then, and even down to the like outfit we're wearing hunter camouflage for a reason. You guys can figure that out. Just like every like little thing that we're doing in there. And we want people to like look at it and be like, wow, that was art. And like, they really care about us. And that's why we're doing it. We're not doing it to be flashy in the video. We want to create something. I can speak for myself at least. I want to create something that's going to be like, oh wow, that's amazing. I didn't know there's that much thought into it. It's crazy because I did the Afuera video. I was in the Afuera video, the Latin song with Claudia, and Benny goes, hey, what was your thought behind this? What was your thought behind this? I was like, Benny, no, it's not my video, because Benny knows I'm the Easter egg guy.
Oh yeah.
So Benny was asking questions about the Ifuera video, but there was no Easter egg. So he was trying so hard to find an Easter egg, and I was like, bro. And then the director was like, no, it really was just straightforward. Why is she walking down the street? Because it's the street. Like, like it was like simple stuff like that. But Benny loves
like, wow, I need to up my game.
Yeah.
They did. They said after that they want to do Easter eggs now. But I love doing it because that's the type of stuff I like looking at. I like looking at like Quentin Tarantino movies. He says things, he does things. I like film. I like not only Quentin Tarantino, but I like any film that you watch again and you get something else from it. Like I was watching, they were breaking down the psychology of was it the movie Chernobyl?
Okay.
And when something or somebody was sick or they're about to be sick, it was all green. And when everything was good, I think it was it like yellow or something more warm or something.
Yeah.
But they broke it down. So like, and you could look it up on YouTube or whatever, but they broke it down in certain movies, they will use certain colors for certain people or environments to talk about what's going on at that moment. So in Crack History Month, when I was getting more intense, like I had a red light. That was why I had a red light. Like I wasn't picking like random whatever. So like if I was cool or more chilling and relaxing, I picked a blue one.
Mm-hmm.
If I was saying something cool.
Yeah.
Or if I wanted to be rich, you know what I mean? So like if I was talking about money, you'll see green.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
That's
specific things. So when you go back to it, you probably appreciate it more. You'll be like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, and if I would have done a video for any of my other stuff, you would have seen it. But like, and even there's a song called Freedom with my buddy Giera, and she's in a hot place and I'm in a snowy place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the juxtaposition there,
Mhm.
which is another juxtaposition because you'd expect me to be in the more masculine area and her to be in the colder place, but we flipped it. So
That's cool.
all that type of stuff. So there's just like little things like that, and I'm just excited for people to look into
In
it
your
and
brain?
dig into it.
Yeah.
I mean that will never happen, but
Yeah, right. My brain hurts already.
that will never happen. But I just love those like little things, and man, I'm still staring at that Standby Survivors plaque. I mean the shadow box.
It's just that cool, huh?
That
No,
thing.
I did not know you did stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
And you're just like brushing it off like it's just nothing.
I
And you
like
brought
that
like
rabbit because he's
you're like, and I got
brought it up a
and
couple
I
of
got
times.
this, and I got this, and I got this, and I got this, and I
Yeah,
got
it's just
this.
like what I do on. It's what I
This
do.
is what
for
he keeps
fun.
referencing.
Yeah, that's our Standby Survivors logo, and it's a cross with a heart, and S by S is our logo. And I make the shadow boxes with the flower. Yeah, vinyl art by Becky.
Oh
That's
my
Becky's
gosh.
goodness.
Hey Becky, we have a connection though. I used to work at Michael's.
I love Michael's. I probably paid your salary for many.
You probably did, but I got to caveat it with this. I was a regular Michael's cashier, but then they saw my worth and they moved me to framing.
Oh, there you go. That's the place to be.
So when I saw the framing, I was like, I started to turn into a frame nerd for a second when you showed me the back and then the sticker.
And you want to know what's funny? They're actually from Michael's.
Figures.
There it is. I'm gonna make you a shirt.
Right?
A hoodie. Make me a hoodie. Maybe the reason why I say a hoodie too is I'll wear it more.
Mm-hmm.
If I wear a shirt, I'll probably wear it once a month, maybe.
No, I'll totally make. I'm looking up a light blue hoodie, and I already have, as we're sitting here, I've already put into the system the roses that I can put on a shirt.
And what episode is this?
It will be 51.
51.
Okay, 51. Put episode 51 on it. Let's make an exclusive merch
You're gonna be
drop.
the only one with it.
That's the
So
point.
I'm the one making it. It's the only one you got. But you can send it
And
to
we
us.
get one. I get one.
All right.
I'm saying people love those exclusive type of things. Say we
Yeah.
are only doing this colorway for this week, and I guarantee you'll sell out. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'll
promote
sell out because I'll make
Marketing
2 of them,
sense.
and the 2 of you will get them.
Yeah, I'll love it. If you're only gonna make 2, put the real roses on there.
Not on a shirt.
Don't they have like fabric roses?
Well, no, I'll just cut it so it looks like a rose. But yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm not making you have I got
He's
you.
like, I want the roses though.
I mean, I can hot glue you some roses on a shirt if you want, but
Make it look fire, like whatever.
He's like,
I
you
know.
can do
flopping
gold.
all over.
What? No, I thought I was like, oh, I'm gonna put on this, like, this is just a jacket that I wore one time, and everybody's like, oh, that's a fire jacket. I was like, what are you talking about? Like that jacket you wear, and then like, you never know what gets popular.
Yeah,
'Cause
there's
it's
some
so
very odd
different.
things that are popular.
It's so different. It's especially these days with the kids, like something to be, because everything is the same. So like, man, I got flowers on my shirt. What do you got? Like, oh man, I guess Becky wins this one. You know?
So as we get ready to close, actually 2 more questions. Because especially with your friendly fire and I would say adversity in general, and going from everything that you've faced from your journey leading up into music and situations you've been placed in, and then dealing with even when it comes to the entertainment industry and censorship and the pushback that you guys constantly get when it comes to fighting censorship. You guys always manage to find a way around it. Like, cool, you're going to block me here, we'll go this way. So you guys have figured out how to kind of weave through that. But when it comes to adversity and dealing with trolls or friendly fire and some people opening their mouth when they shouldn't, how do you handle dealing with adversity, especially when it comes to the entertainment industry, but then also if you're challenged with something in your personal life?
Got it. So first of all, I want to address something because you reminded me of something. The reason why me and Topher were able to beat censorship when they pulled our song The Patriot off, because they thought it was connected to something that we did not do. We were not there. The reason why they pulled up The Patriot off was specifically because they thought it was connected. But once The Patriot got pulled off, me and Topher was like, yo, how, we got this, we're going to do this. And it was like, literally, I swear, it was just like, are we going to do this? Mm-hmm. You in for the long haul. Yep. Nobody can stop us. Like literally, like, man, I wish everybody was there, because like it's like one of those like Rocky moments, like it gets me goosebumps. Like, no, yeah, you know what I mean? Like one of them, like, no, we're gonna do this. And I said, okay, cool. I said, bro, like I got a business degree, man. There ain't gonna be nobody who can stop us. I know how to do this. So I was like, we can do this independently. It's like, how are we gonna do this? I said, we can sell it out the trunk. I was like, not really, but we can sell CDs off the website, just like Master P did back in the day. And then we sold 2,000 CDs. Wow. No, but you want to know what was the most remarkable thing about this? That we sold each one for $20, just the single. Want to know what something more remarkable? We were #1 on Billboard with no streaming,
which is unheard of.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Huge. You don't do that.
You don't do that. So you're telling me we beat all these industry artists with $1 million budgets completely? We slaughtered all of them. We outsold every single one of them. But it was because we didn't give up, because we said that we know we're great, because we said, hey, you say you say you're the alpha that you say you are. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, let's show it. You know what I mean? We don't back down. We show people who we are. Like, to answer your question, kind of, it's like, how am I able to? And how are we able to deal with the trolls? How are we able to deal with adversity? How are we able to rap battle and be okay? It's because we show people who we are. Like I commented this. Somebody said, I don't know who Tyson James is. And I said, well, you will know who he is. And then you will see who I am. And what that means is, if you see who I am, you are seeing what I'm built of and what I'm made of. I am not a quitter. I will always keep going. There's no way you can stop me, because I am disciplined. Discipline will outlast anything. Yep. Like, no matter if listen, I have to pee right now, but I am disciplined. I am so disciplined on this live that I am saying, you don't have to pee that bad. You need to finish this interview because she said only 2 more questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it. And it doesn't help that for some reason it's tinted kind of yellow on my square. So I really have to pee.
His eyes started.
Yeah, you see. Why are your tears yellow? Hey, listen, don't worry about it.
Hurry up, Bridget.
No, that's fine. No, it's not. No. But the point I'm saying is, it's because of the discipline. It's because we know who we are. It's because we know who we are. We remember who we are, and we know who we are. It's past, present, and future. We know, like, it's written, like, you can't, like, that's why, like, people, like, when people say something and you see me, like, so it's crazy because some people be like, oh, why are you yelling or whatever? I was like, no, you have no idea. I'm telling you, this is how much passion is in my body. It won't happen. You're just not better than me. Like, you can say what you want. You could think it's cocky or whatever, but you're just not better than me. I'm built a certain way. My mom didn't go through all this. My mom didn't have all these jobs for this, for you to beat me. It's not going to happen. We didn't have to struggle. We're eating bologna. Well, me and Topher eating bologna. You know, the bologna with the red string around it, government big blocks of cheese, powder, like all like poor people food. You whoever you are, fill in the blank, think you are going to take whatever we have and put us back there. Not happening. This is who I am. Like that's my mentality, and that's in my mind when somebody comes at me. So that's why you may see me like, might see me like laugh or something, like, you know, like one of those Bruce Lee movies, like, you know, when they laugh and it's off of sync, they're like, ha 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 ha. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not happening. Like, I just believe in myself. And it's not a selfish thing. Like, you can do the same thing too, but don't think you're going to come at me and actually think you're going to take away what I have and what I grew up with, that spirit, that warrior spirit who never gives up. Like, I was sleeping on benches. I was homeless. I ate cheese. We had to share clothes, like got made fun of, didn't have no haircut. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have no headphones, didn't have no computer, didn't have no $1,000 phone. You, fill in the blank, are going to stop me? No, not happening. So I hope that answered your question, Bridget. I know I kind of went aggressive, but it is what it is.
No, you're good. I love all your energy. It's the truth. So that way we can let you go to the bathroom. If you had 30 seconds to send a message to the world, what would that be?
Be patient.
I knew you were going somewhere with this.
And for those who are just listening and didn't see the reference, he put up a 30-second timer.
Well, I love that answer.
Mhm.
Thank you again for
that's what you're gonna get from me. You're gonna get stuff like that.
And
I
just
know.
sit in your quiet for a little bit is a good message too.
Mhm. Sometimes you got to be quiet and just listen. But thank you again for joining our podcast, and we truly appreciate everything that you're doing, even getting to work with you. And if you can share your Instagram name as far as all of his music, we will make sure to drop every link in our show note. But where can they find you on Instagram and any other thing you want to shout out?
Yo, thank you so much for having me on your podcast and your broadcast. Again, my name is the Marine Rapper, aka TMR, aka Raymond. You can find me everywhere at the Marine Rapper, themarinerapper.com. All of my handles are the Marine Rapper. If you just remember the Marine Rapper and put it in the Google search bar, you're going to find me. I'm the guy with the American flag jacket, or the guy that Wired Magazine tried to say that we created a insurrection with our music. But anyways, hey, you can find me everywhere at the Marine Rapper, and I just thank everybody for listening, and thank you so much for having me on this podcast.
Thank you.
If you can plug really quick your album that you're dropping, that way we can create some content.
Outstanding. Yo, I want everybody to go cop that new album created by me. It's called Rage Against the Machine. Not Machine. It's not called Rage Against the Marine. I mean, that. My album is called Rage Against the Marine. Everybody go cop that. It's a rock album. It's different. It's alternative. You guys are going to have a whole bunch of different vibes on there. I just want you guys to just vibe out, go in the gym, work out to it, dance to it, spaz out to it, whatever gets that anger out. So let your son listen to it, because it's going to be clean. If he wants to dance to it or whatever. So especially right before bed, if you're trying to put them to bed, you know, this is a good album to let your kids listen to. Let your kids listen to Rage Against the Marine, and they will be so tired out, they will go to bed. And I want some testimonials too. If you moms can thank me for that, because this is high energy, high octane type of stuff. And I just want to do something different. You know, we do a lot of stuff on current events and politics, and I just want to do something that's just going to motivate a lot of people to dance and work out and do whatever they do to it. So make sure you go get that Rage Against the Marine by the Marine Rapper.
So again, make sure to check that out and buy that on iTunes. Thank you for your service and for using your platform to be a voice for the voiceless and to give podcasts like us an opportunity. It has been an honor working with you, Space Force, and appreciate everything you guys are doing to change the world. We want to hold a place. We want to hold a space and take a moment of silence for those dealing with mental health, adversity in their life, and those who are just waking up to everything going on in the world, including human trafficking. Those who were abused sexually, mentally, domestically, and those who had their innocence stolen by the corrupt systems, CPS, foster care, in your own family, or a trusted adult figure, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a loved one, whoever that may be. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are enough. We are sorry for everything you've endured. You have a powerful voice, and we pray that one day God gives you the strength. And when you're ready to speak your truth, when you're ready to continue to shine your light and be true to who you are, never let anyone dim that light. We all have a story. You are not alone. Be bold. Be you. Be your own kind of beautiful. Stand tall, speak your truth, and the world will adjust. They can't take your voice. It's never too late to do what's right. Stop and be present. Remember, you are not alone. We hear you, we see you, we stand by you. Sending love, light, and blessings.